Right, and we are live on
Super Geeks pre-show.
Super Geeks pre-show with YouTube, Twitch, and Twitch. Hell yes!
I had
Now,
to
if
buff
you're
your mic a
on,
little bit, Justin. You're peaking really
yeah,
bad.
how's this? Any better?
Much better.
Okay, pretty good. Because I got to swap to this now. I just transferred it over, so it should be working. All right, so it shows we already got a YouTube viewer on. Cool. We're actually going to be able to highlight Twitch comments if they pop up on my end. So if anybody wants to, on Twitch, wants to see their comment on screen, they need to come to my chat and display it. But you can only do redeems in Ross's chat for now.
Make sure
It's
you remind
working.
Ross.
It's stable. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. This is fucking great.
Yeah.
Oh, look. Yes. Yes, that's a sweet sight to see.
Make sure you remind Ross that his beard is sexy, so he keeps it.
Oh, dear God.
Well, that's the nice thing about shaving. It does grow back.
No, I know.
Yeah, I mean-
I was making the joke. I'm just
But
saying, like,
the beard under the mask, it gets so bad.
oh yeah, I can imagine.
Plus, I think it might be fun one day to show up looking like James Charles.
Remove. I don't want to go live to the secondary. Oh no, I don't want. You are
Hey,
streaming.
Leah's in Twitch. Excellent.
You are on Twitch, right?
Yes.
3 years. Okay. Yeah, because it's saying I'm live, but I guess that's just showing because you're live. But mine's live. Okay, it works. Yay! I'm happy.
So for the pre-show side of things, I thought I'd show something off. For the league this week, we had a points increase. I'm including a few new units, and this
Awesome.
is something I completed this week.
Very, very good.
Focus, come on. Stop.
You should get you a white piece of paper.
There we go. Okay.
Why is it doing this?
That looks sick.
This is a Necron Technomancer.
I gotta get into some of these games, Ross.
Well, if I ever actually have time outside of what little I've got, I'd be glad to walk you through a lot of the story and the basics.
I would absolutely love that.
So okay.
Something cool that I did with this piece right here and back here, that's actually framing structure from 3D prints supports like this.
Cool.
I print out a base adapter for one of my old units to expand its base to the new size that the models are now, and I'm adding these on there. And once I'm done with the base, they're going to look like little metal scaffolding that are growing up out of the ground.
And then I'm going to link the Trello into the chat so people can.
I've got a few others on the side. This is a Necron character, Illuminor Zeraz.
Cool.
Come on. There we go. This is actually painted by somebody else, and I'm finishing it up.
Ooh.
Yeah, sucking the blood and the life force out of that poor, unfortunate soul.
What is that on Travis's name? Mariner's Hype? Oh, dear God. Oh, yeah. Oh, damn it.
And Greg got me with a hydrate.
Damn it, Greg.
Oh, dang it.
Brenda, so happy to see you.
What's wrong with the Mariners hype?
Nothing at all. Wrong? Wait, what is that? What was that? Mariners Hype? Haha.
No, you probably don't even understand what I'm on about right there.
The episode.
You're already wrong.
Well, you'll just have to explain it when you come back in. All right.
I am ashamed that I am quite possibly the only baseball fan left in existence here.
Sean. But he's not here
on the show.
I enjoy baseball, but I'm not a fan of a
I like
particular
Frontier
team.
League. I like the Frontier League baseball, but I don't like Major League Baseball.
I'm just not.
It's
I'm just
too
not
much
really
about
a big sport.
advertising.
I'm just really not big a sports person anymore, like I used to be.
It's like I like college football rather than NFL. It's just
Dude, like as soon as I started HRT, that was it. Like my likes and dislikes completely changed. Traded in for the baseball bat and the football for for romance novels and lots more video games. With,
I need to go over to Twitch real quick and make sure all my ducks are in a row. The Travis has arrived. Okay, so
Twitch reminded my big brother that we're live tonight, so as well. So he may be asleep. He has been up all night and he's 6 hours ahead. So
I'll be right back.
all
I
right.
just can't get over like how clear you look, Ross.
Oh my God, it looks so much better on Twitch with you actually able to see what Ross looks like. You can see the pores on his skin. If
And
you
that's
zoom
why I
in
was
close
talking about
enough.
getting some kind of foundation on here earlier, so I look a little less rough.
And I don't know if I look better. I was able to actually, for once, I actually have a decent enough PC now that I was able to increase the quality of my camera for once. It was
wow.
it said we since you have new hardware, would you like to increase your quality? I'm like, I can do that. I've had a potato for so long, I forgot that I had options.
All right, so it's set in the correct category. That's great. That's great. Good. Good.
Now, how many of us actually have ordered stuff from Lenovo?
I don't know.
Question.
Nobody who's here.
Yeah, because none of us could ever afford that expensive ass shit.
So
we don't really have to cover it.
Carlos, Jason, and Sean all have stuff.
Well, we can put down a discard. I just added that in case somebody wanted to talk about it. But
Travis may have one or two pieces, but we have
one
to
or
wait for him
two
to get
pieces
back.
of what?
Something from Anovos.
Anovos. Do you have any Anovos stuff? Like Star Trek phasers.
It is now collector's items.
I have considered like dropping $300, $400 for a Discovery phaser, but no, I do not have any props from Lenovo.
Okay, then nobody here has any Lenovo stuff. It can be shoved off the list.
It's gone.
Drop it into the discard pile.
Can we talk about? Did you guys see that the Switch is finally getting N64 games for an additional?
We're talking about that later.
Yes.
We're talking about that.
I didn't get a chance to add that. I was going to add that to the gaming topics that we have. Hey, son, go look at the Trello now. You should it.
I mean, I've been looking at the Trello all week. Like, I've been looking at it the past couple of hours. So.
Oh.
All I'm going to say is I didn't get to say it when you popped in. So, hi, son. I hope you have had a great week.
Hi, Raina. I've been better this week.
Good.
Sound better.
You do. You really do. God, we're all on point this week. Ross looks all nice and shiny with his new fresh internet connection. And your brother is in chat.
Hey, the professionalism is finally kicking in.
Yay!
Of course, it'll all go to shit the moment Justin starts pushing buttons.
God damn it, son. You stole my line. You stole my line. How dare you?
It was my joke. It was my setup and my punchline.
I was going to make my own little crack joke about me screwing something up with that.
Hey, big brother. I actually was making a joke about that earlier. I was like, finally, Star Wars is acknowledging furries. They have a character that resonates with me. Did you see that, Bunny?
Do it.
Mm-hmm. Shameless furry in this group, and I'm okay with that.
Hey,
So,
Dave, got one
Greg
just
isn't
for
here
you.
Well, Greg is watching, but today's the 5th anniversary of Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, why didn't you tell me that? I could have dug him with that.
Because
Damn.
it just came on my feed as I'm updating social media.
Phrasing. It just came on my feed.
Came up on my feed.
I'm sorry.
You didn't say up. You said
I'm
came
afraid
on
I
my
can't
feed.
do that.
Okay, fine.
Well, okay, careful, son. You'll make you'll make it more creamy than you need it to be, okay?
I don't understand why Rada keeps saying she's the unabashed furry of the group. I'm the one who's the avatar of Azora for all the fucking time.
I'm just saying, like,
she's right, you know.
What? You know, I was actually having this discussion, son, after you had brought that up before. Like, I had this discussion, and there was a big debate in the server now about are Zoras furries or scalies?
Oh, dear God.
It doesn't matter.
They don't have scales.
Yes, they do.
Oh, they do have scales? Well,
yeah.
Well, I'm saying they all fall under the same banner.
But here's the question. Here's the question. Do you consider a fish a lizard?
Well, son, like that's what I want to tell you is I actually retract my statement where I said Zoras are not furries because actually processing the argument and looking at the evidence, it's like I was so tired that night. Like I didn't process the most basic of information that yes, like we all fall under that category and we're all kinky as hell. So we are good.
I mean, we got the eyebrows of Doom.
You were
we
right.
We got the eyebrows of Doom over here. We got the plushy Master Travis over here to the left. We have Sun, who's the fish icon, and you know we got the rest of us. So I mean, you know, hey, why not?
It's so weird because the Zora are this like amalgam of several different things at once. They have like, I mean, they have scales because you get like a silver and a gold scale that lets you breathe deeper to when you dive. They always seem to have this fish appearance for the most part, yet like their mating habits are much more amphibious than anything. Then there's the whole thing of them like radically transforming. Like they literally go from these coral seahorse things into Zora and eventually turn into the Ritto, which are fucking birds.
Which honestly, like, I love the concept that as Hyrule changes, the species within it evolve with it. I've always liked that. I like the Rito. You know what? I will say this. I will simp for Rivali any day. Like, that Snarkbird is, like, the best thing. Like, and he gets, like, no screen time.
It's because most people actually don't like him.
You know what? Maybe it's something with me just liking just how, like, confident he is, but I don't know.
There's two groups of people when it comes to Rivali. There's the people who don't like him because he's just a blatant asshole, and then there's the people who love him to death because he's a blatant asshole. You definitely fit into the latter group. Like he is like so pompously arrogant and self-confident, even when he's wrong.
Why do you like this asshole right now? I don't know. I just find him being mean kind of hot. I don't know. I'm confused right now.
It's like all the people who like Johnny Bravo. It's not that he's a good guy. It's not that he'll eventually learn, because he never fucking learns. It's that because he's an asshole, it's charming to watch this dude be a pitfall over and over and over again of his own arrogance.
Or Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem is
God damn it.
Perfect embodiment of that, Ross. He couldn't have picked a better example.
Hail to the king, baby.
Somebody's gonna pay for shooting up my ride.
I mean, that's
Shit happens.
it's also the same reason like people like Pepe Le Pew. Because Pepe Le Pew was like, I mean, and I'll be honest, still fucking exists, that Hollywood kind of lecherous culture. That Pepe Le Pew was a critique of that. That's why he was a fucking skunk. But people, even though people knew it and grew up knowing it, they still found the guy literally not able to get his own thing going because dude's rude and fuck as fuck and imposing of himself onto the various felines. They found it charming.
He's got the moves. I'm just saying, I like Pepe.
Someone got a TV on?
Yeah, it's the roommate. You know this by now. Hopefully, like as the show goes on and we chat it up, it becomes less noticeable, and or maybe he'll just fall asleep and turn the television off. I don't know why he has it as loud as he does. I don't have enough courage to ask him to turn it down.
Greg, I'm still doing the updates. As soon as I've got the social media stuff out of the way, then I will stretch. Sit and just calm the hell down.
Where is Greg not joining tonight?
No, he's traveling. He dropped by right as you joined, as you came on and said hi. Put his girlfriend and his son on for us.
Greg, if you want me to torture Ross with chat, pop on over to my side and I'll highlight your comments and put them on screen.
Jesus, Greg, calm the calamity that is your memories.
Where is? Where is? Where is it? There.
It's there. No, wait, it's there.
What's where?
I don't know. What is where?
Thank you. That was a weird sensation. I had a sneeze and then like it caused an itch in my throat where I had to cough right after it. That was a weird feeling.
Live on Facebook right now?
No, we're not. You got to share the YouTube link over there. I could actually wait. Since you know what? Since we're not doing. Yeah,
I'm broadcasting from my own computer again.
Ooh, we could do 3. Hang on, Travis. I'll get us live on there too. Because we can do 3 and Twitch, and then Ross is also live on Twitch. Because he has internet again.
Well, there you go.
I'm holding steady at 2K bitrate. Knock on wood.
All right, so now we are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitch.
Just quickly, there we are. I see it.
You see it?
I think I'm going to stream tomorrow.
Oh my God!
Finally finish the Silent King model that's been sitting.
You're going to actually be able to
tried.
do shit now, Ross.
Yes! I could dance, but there's no room in here.
You do a chair dance. Hold on. Let me get the BGM
Nothing
going here.
copyrighted.
Oh, no, absolutely not. We're going to do, this is part of voice mod.
Little happy dance. Oh, Justin's got the lights. A little vibing in for the show.
This ain't the proper vibe.
I didn't realize we were getting into Bayonetta 3 early.
We're talking about that.
We can also do.
Okay, so now we're just playing Wipeout. Okay. Absolute. Yeah, at this point, we're just playing Wipeout. Does anybody remember that game?
Yes.
Holy
Yeah,
crap. The fact that they announced a mobile card game is a travesty.
Yes, it is. Let's see. Lighting.
I'm not fond of certain forms
Purple
of
looks yellow
death.
on here.
I'm not fond of certain forms of death, but in the case of that game, I would consider bringing back crucifixions for the dev team.
Oh God.
Talk about.
Yeah, dark. Damn, son.
Like I said, like I've always maintained, you guys don't know dark like I do.
Am I sounding okay?
Yes.
You sound fine.
I'm glad to hear.
We're all on point tonight. God, that's scary. Make sure my sound compression's good.
Hi, Leia. Or is that how you pronounce it? Leia?
Leia. Wow, look at that. We're lighting up.
Let's get this show on the road. Apparently, it's going to be a small one tonight.
It's a long road getting from there to here.
You know, Justin, we could probably get away with. I'm going to put it into the Facebook chat since I'm actually streaming. I don't want to minimize and.
Yeah, I get you. Hang on, let me swing over that way. Facebook chat.
Maybe put that. We might be able to get away with that song.
I'll get it real quick. I know exactly which one this is.
We're talking about all being pervs, after all.
Oh my God, Ross, you evil person.
Why do I have a feeling that I'm missing a joke here?
Yes, you are. You'll get it here in a minute. I promise.
I was missing out on it too.
You're not missing a joke yet.
Yes.
Let's get on with it.
What on YouTube?
Like, because I want to see how you guys react to this week's recap.
Wait.
Wait.
StreamYards has actually finally fucking integrated Twitch chat into the
Yes.
comment section?
Yes.
Damn.
Yes.
Well, that's because Justin is streaming to. Now that I have a functional internet connection again, thank
Woohoo!
God, I'm streaming to my Twitch, and Justin can stream to his. And he's actually got integration to his Twitch.
Yay! We're moving on up. Finally. Okay, so I am going to go here, and we're going to add this little trinket that Ross has downloaded, and away we go. Well, ready, Ross?
Do it.
I don't know what this is.
Well, okay, let me ask you a question then, Travis. What do you think it is?
My guess is it's probably a gaming track of some sort.
Oh,
it is
God.
kind of game related, yes.
It is, yes, it is definitely game related. It's also furry related.
It's based on Greg got it. It's based on Animal Crossing, in fact. Well, a fan creation.
Is this Lil V's new track?
Not quite. It's
Uh,
it's a fan creation based on Animal Crossing, but
Is it Little V? Like, is it
Yeah.
the guitarist Little V?
I don't know.
You have to ask Justin. Justin is the one that went and got the track.
Actually, Ross put it in Facebook chat. So
Yes, it's Little V.
There you go. I know who that is.
It's an instrumental take on a music track that was put over a bit of Animal Crossing fan art.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like Little V is a great
Porn
musician.
fan art, by the way.
yes, adult fan art.
Because guess what's been over furry Twitter for the past week and better?
A lot of porn.
The
That
fucking
sound-
Egyptian cat from Animal Crossing.
Oh my
That
god!
sound took over TikTok.
I went and I
over a
logged
week.
into my Twitch the other day, my Twitter, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
And now,
Wait a minute, why?
and now furry Twitter is filled with nothing but Deltarune Chapter 2 porn.
It is.
Well,
God
as
bless
long
you,
as-
furry degenerates. I love each and every one of you.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's get
It's
on with the
true.
show. Let's get on with the show. And
We're making Travis uncomfortable. Are you ready to go, Ross?
Not even,
Let's
it's
do it,
not that
let's
I'm
do it.
uncomfortable. I just
All right.
find this kind of chat like I don't
Fine.
find it interesting.
All right, countdown. And
Seven, 8, 9, 10. Left lunge. 1, 2. Hi, welcome to Super Geeks.
We should have really opened with that. Like, just having Ross do his exercises to that metal theme.
There you go, Greg. There's your redeem. Welcome to the Real Super Geeks podcast on today, the 24th of August, September 2021. Great part. Fun. My name is Ross. Live, love, play, the eyebrows of doom himself. And it is great to join you guys here for another evening of geeking out.
Spit it out,
about
Ross.
whatever the hell. You just shit. All right, zoom out.
Call 911. He's having a stroke.
Nah, I'm not having a stroke. This is Tuesday. It's Friday. 10-hour shifts, man. Joining me once again is our lovely array of hosts spanning the gambit from batshit crazy to perverted all to hell. We love it.
And the fun part is you can't tell which one of those is batshit crazy to perverted as hell because we're all equally alike.
On one end of the spectrum, we got Justin. How you doing this week?
I am doing very well. It's been a great week. As you can see, we are changing things up this week a little bit. So we actually have Twitch integration fully working, functional, and Ross has real internet.
I have working internet again.
No more Mr. Roboto, and he's in clear, crisp eyebrows of doom, factor form. And look at those brows. Raina, it's okay. It's okay. You'll make it.
Oh, smack dab in the middle of that spectrum, we got Travis.
Hi, everybody. I don't know what happened this week because it was just a completely normal week for the most part, aside from a bunch of gaming on Age of Empires and hearing like Raina's reaction to Deep Space Nine and everything like that. And so I will just say, go Mariners. Fucking go Mariners. I want them in the postseason. We have won like 4
Oh,
straight, maybe a
man.
little longer. We swept the Oakland Athletics. If we can please just get into the postseason at least, I am sick of this playoff drought that everybody is on about.
Wait.
No.
Back up just a moment. Just a moment.
Hold on.
The group is called the group is called the Oakland what?
The Oakland Athletics.
The fuck?
Look, I don't name these baseball teams. All I know is that I fucking love the Mariners. They are like in second place in the AL West. They are 2 games behind making that wild card spot. If the Yankees and Red Sox and Blue Jays can just start losing, maybe like the Mariners can clinch a spot. Or even better, the Astros can just fuck off to hell and
Oh, my.
fuck the Astros.
Tell us how you really feel. Go on. Tell us.
Thank you, Travis. In the lower left hand of that spectrum, we got Reina.
Well, I mean, on my screen, I'm up top right, but I'm
talking about the
She's on top. She's on.
Oh, hey, I get you. No, can we
Crazy,
just
perverted, sane, and uncategorized.
before I say how I'm feeling, can I just say that out of anything to piss off Travis, it had to have been baseball.
I got pissed off. What?
I'm just saying that team names. I just find that funny. No, this week was crazy. It started out emotional. The hormones are kind of beat me down a little bit because I'm on my max increase, and now they've thrown some more other stuff on the top of it. But I went from absolutely having a bad start of the week to, you know what, I'm going to treat myself. So I've got my beast of a rig next to me that's actually powering this stream right now. And so I decided to spoil myself to make myself very, very happy. And I actually, what started as a bad week has now become a very great week.
What would we like to hear?
Glad to hear. And
So wait,
in the
you say
upper
beast
right
of a
end of
rig?
that spectrum, we got Sun.
So, I wanted to say phrasing, but that was like an entire paragraph of phrasing, Raina. Yeah, hormones, beating, beasts, Jesus Christ.
You say you've got a new rig?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'll share it to the... Well, I shared it to the chat earlier. I think I just got to share it to you because you're the only one who hasn't seen it.
All right, cool.
Mariners up 3-2 on my Angels. It's showtime in Anaheim tonight. Let's
Hell
go, Angels.
yeah.
Travis. That's from Greg.
My friend, my
Who is
friend Dash
joining us-
probably isn't gonna be too happy, but what can I say? Mariners hype.
Oh, God.
Hey,
Shut
so,
up.
Son, how you been, and where the hell are you this week?
So this week has been kind of more lucid than the past several, which is really nice. I think we finally figured out that one of my medications is what's been keeping me so sick.
Ooh,
And I actually feel like I'm starting to recover and all of that stuff.
that's good.
And where am I at this week? Well, oh boy. Oh. I forgot to start the camera. There we go.
The neutral zone.
There we go. I'm in a prison.
you're in jail.
I'm not
Aren't
in
we
jail.
all?
I'm not in jail. I'm at a prison.
Yeah, you're in jail. You are naughty. Lane put you
Horny
there
jail?
because no one.
No, I'm not at horny jail.
No.
And interestingly enough, I am.
Dude.
If I look up a couple of cages, I can see Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo.
Or maybe Lane just put you in jail because no one said hi to him.
I'm in the Mushroom Kingdom Federal Prison.
Man,
See,
Sun got under
Ross
King
got
Koopa's
that
tails.
one. See, Ross got that one.
Nice
No,
choice,
this is
son.
yeah.
Very
No,
good
this
choice.
is the prison scene from the Super Mario Brothers movie.
I
I've
need to
never
go
seen
back
it.
and watch it. I've had like I need to say
Watch
I'm
party.
glad that you brought I'm glad you brought it up because I have like just had this urge to watch it again after all these years. Like I don't know why. I think it was the announcement. So I
It's-
was just like,
look,
I
It
gotta
is.
watch it.
The Super Mario Brothers movie is not as terrible as people make it out to be. Sure,
Oh,
it's
I love
corny as fuck, but so is a whole bunch of other properties brought forward. Like even the fact that the new Sonic movie was actually really good, it's still filled with a whole bunch of corny shit.
It is.
Well,
She's
at
right.
least Sonic didn't have its absurdist and surrealist environment adapted and translated in a ridiculous and surrealist way as to take the Mushroom Kingdom from this jazzy, upbeat kind of environment to grim, dark cyberpunk.
Well, that's kind of the whole point. Is like the Mushroom Kingdom turned into what it did because Koopa took over.
You know, I need to point out that Ross just actually said something very disturbing that the Mario Brothers movie did Cyberpunk better than Cyberpunk did.
I didn't say that, but yeah, that was implied.
I'm just saying, like, that movie actually does Cyberpunk better than Cyberpunk does.
You know, I am glad that I have such a big rock to hide under when it comes to the internet, because half the things that the internet is talking about this week, I don't give a fuck about, including
that's
the
why
Mario movie.
I end up pruning so much chaff out of our Trello. They're just so much of the stuff that ends up there. No offense to you guys, but it ends up being nothing stories. Like example, one of the things was a bunch of people. Oh, Quantum Leap reboot. No, there's not a Quantum reboot happening. Scott Bakula was just talking about the possibility of one happening.
See, that's a thing Carlos posted. I guarantee that's a thing Carlos posted.
Carlos posted it. I added it
make
in,
your
and
best on the show
I should have just left it out. I should have just left it
It's
out.
all right. It's all right.
Like-
It's fine. It's fine. But anyway. Let's get into our topics for the night. Thank you, everybody. It's let's roll into it. So
we love you, Lane. Nobody said hi to you, but I said hi.
okay, everybody, on 1, 2, 3. Hi, Lane. Shut up, Justin.
Yes.
All right. First things first. Travis, are you ready?
Am I ready?
Lane's born ready.
It is time to hear the recaps of our reviews for the week, and today we're starting out with Lower Decks. So, Travis,
Hit us with the
take it
spoiler.
away.
Spoiler
Spoilers.
alert. Spoilers. Spoilers. Spoilers.
Spoiler.
Did you study Ben Stein this week?
This recap.
Somebody
of
is
Lo-
echoing.
Shut up, everybody.
No. Wait. What was that? You want the other alert?
This recap of Lower Decks is brought to you by the Colorado Renaissance Festival. Adventures in the air. Come
It is
find
not.
it at the Ren Fair.
Shut up. Alert. Shut up. Alert.
What the fuck is that?
It's the shut up alert.
This recap of Lower Decks is brought to you by the Colorado Renaissance Festival. Adventures in the air. Come find it at the Ren Fair. After the Cerritos is given a supercomputer with the Jeffrey Combs operating system, they get a house call from the Monavine, a luxurious ship that holds the Queen of Hesperia and happens to be the mother of Andy Phillips. It would seem that by his reaction that he's not happy that she's there. Don't make this same mistake. With NordVPN, you can mask your location and personal data and have all the privacy you want. Meanwhile, Boimler is super excited about a mission he's going on with centipedes, but suddenly he's reassigned and goes with Mariner to take the Combs computer to Earth. It's safe to say that he didn't see this coming. For all of life's unpredictable messes, use Bounty, paper towels. As they head to Earth, they hit a gravimetric shear that causes them to crash on a desert planet. All the systems are down. They cannot send out a distress call, and the replicator only makes black licorice. You don't have to be in the same situation with T-Mobile's 5G network. Coverage across the nation has never been better. Alone and low on food and water, Boimler and Mariner must traverse the desert planet, but the Combs computer is manipulating them into getting in conflict with one another, and they constantly argue and bicker. If you're having a strained relationship, consider trying Sondermind therapy. Therapy isn't easy. Finding it should be. Sondermind. Thankfully, they find some fruit with a liquid, but much to their disgust, it tastes exactly like black licorice. And if your water doesn't taste good, zazz it up with Mio Liquid Enhancer. The computer taunts them, and they bury it in the sand, which is the easiest decision they have to make all episode. Almost as easy as switching to Capital One. What's in your wallet? It isn't long before the Combs computer reveals to Boimler that Mariner actually asked for him to be reassigned from the mission he was actually excited for at the beginning of the episode. And it further strains their relationship. He's unhappy with her bossing him around. She's unhappy he's blindly listening to the evil computer. Regardless, the entire revelation is quite shocking. And if you're having trouble with your shocks, get them checked at your local Amco body shop. Amco, AAMCO. They find a ship with the engines intact, and the Combs computer offers to use his power to get them into the ship. Mariner disagrees, and Boimler's fed up and attacks her, going as far as to stun her when she doesn't think he would. It's a pity that their replicator's offline, because you know that Boimler is probably just hungry. He could have replicated a Snickers bar, because you're not you when you're hungry. Boimler takes the computer inside, and he hooks it up to the consoles. Mariner runs in to try and stop him, but she's too late because the computer is set on taking over the system. But it turns out that Boimler never fell for the trick. In fact, he used the computer and got his trust to send out a distress signal, and all the computer do is turn the lights on and off. While all this happens, Billups and Rutherford must fix the engines of the Monavine. Billups must be careful because his mother often tries to trick him into having sex, and if he loses his virginity, he must resign from Starfleet and become the king. His mother, however, is seemingly interested only in getting the engines fixed and going home. Luckily for her, there is a better option. With Southwest Airlines, you're now free to move about the country. They fix the engines, or so they think, because there's a massive explosion which seemingly kills both Rutherford and the Queen. With the throne vacant, Billups must surrender his virginity and become the king. He may have to give up his virginity, but that doesn't mean he shouldn't stay safe about it. For pleasure you want and the protection you trust, use Trojan. But it turns out that Tendi discovers that Rutherford and the Queen are alive and that it's all a trick to get Billups to lose that virginity. Rutherford rushes to stop him and thankfully finds Billups struggling to get aroused. While this works out for Billups, it doesn't have to be your reality with Viagra. Ask your doctor about it. With Billups' virginity in place and his place with the crew of the Cerritos secured, all that's left is for us to see Boimler and Mariner lock up the Combs computer. As they leave, he threatens to take over all the Federation before all the computers mock him and say that they are superior and they're going to take over the Federation before him. They're all very powerful computers, but what if I told you that their computing power pales in comparison to the brand new Dell Latitude business laptop? Dell gives you the power to do more than even these maniacal supercomputers can do. And I am not a sellout.
Thank you, Travis, for that tangential.
I would like to point out
so many relevant products to the things that we're talking about this week. How very coincidental and quite organic and not jarring in any way, shape, or form. Well done.
I mean, it's almost like I was actually watching the episode with the commercials.
Before we get into our roundtable discussion, a couple of Easter eggs and canon references from this episode. The title, Where Pleasant Fountains Lie, is, of course, from Shakespeare. Let's see, Venus and Adonis, and the line where it comes from, graze on my lips, and if those hills be dry, stray lower where the pleasant fountains lie.
And if you want a fountain drink, go to your McDonald's and order a $1 Coca-Cola.
Oh boy. Okay, so we've
Um,
got the stereotypical evil computer influencing a population, very common trope in Star Trek, of course. And how could we not mention Jeffrey freaking Combs is back
Gotta
in
love
Trek.
him. You gotta love him.
Gotta love him, and he did a great job.
Oh,
as
so
the evil
that's why
computer.
it was called the Combs computer.
Yes.
Okay. There you go.
It was quite. It was very charming. I think with this role, he officially has 9 roles in the canon Star Trek universe now. I think he is the actor who has the most, like,
you might be
separate
right on
appearances.
that.
Wayun 5, Wayun 7, Wayun 8.
I mean, Wayu and I
Rance,
consider one
FCA,
character.
and Shran. So that's 5 that's 5 characters.
Well, he's also got like a character. He's got an appearance as another character in Far Beyond the Stars. He has a guest appearance in a Voyager episode. I know. He also plays a one-off character in Fascination. I don't have Memory Alpha in front of me, so I mean,
This is his 44th episode of Star Trek, which breaks all the records. Right behind him is Majel Barrett, who is in Star Trek 37 times, and that doesn't include all of her appearances as the ship's computer.
which I kind of agree with. I really like she portrays the computer absolutely phenomenally. But if people are going to consider that as a character, I almost feel like that's kind of demeaning in a way.
And speaking of the previous roles of Majel Barrett, the Queen Palana, Billups' mother, is it seems to be a little Luoxana-y.
Look,
I got that
Only
vibe too.
Only slightly.
I got that vibe, especially whenever it got first introduced. Everybody had that look like oh god, she's coming. And so yeah, automatically.
I absolutely love the fact that she straight up delivers an evil ha laugh in this episode. Like, of all the things I didn't know I needed in Star Trek until it was actually happening, that might just be one of the best. Just this, like, evil cackle, all because she tricked her son into potentially losing his virginity. Like, that is just...
What a show topic.
And
what a show topic. I mean, my God, I don't think this has been, even done before on that level. But, Mike, it just works for Star Trek. It does.
One of the biggest praises I've seen for this episode came from Lore Reloaded, saying that, wow, they organically worked in a character who is asexual.
Yeah, I actually really dig that. Like, I really like before this episode, like, Billups has always been kind of this like character that was just kind of there, and like not really like we got glimpses of like people palling around with him, but like a lot of the time, especially in season 1, he was kind of a punching bag, unfortunately, like especially with Mariner. Like every now and then when he's just like, oh, it's an honor to be in this beam of celebration, you'd hear Mariner like, shut up, Billups. And like there is a moment in the season 1 finale where Billups tries to give her a hand pie, and she just tells him off, like, get out of here. And he just walks away with like the most dejected, depressed look. And I'm just like, oh my God, I want to hug that man. I just want to give him a hug and be like, I'm sorry, it's going to be okay. And like, and like in the pilot episode, Barnes said that like talking to women's like his final frontier in a way. And so like seeing him get this much backstory just dropped like this, and having it feel like honestly kind of natural I thought was like awesome. Like, yes, it was very like kind of like it was a very silly backstory, like the fact that like he comes from this like this culture that is completely based around the Renaissance fair, and that they have like pet dragons. And oh my god, I just realized something I wanted to include in my little recap here. One of the things I wanted to do was say that, like, he tells his mother off, and he's like, I don't want to be in a place where all the mutton with all the mutton I can eat. And I wanted to do, like, maybe the queen should consider cooking up, like, I can't remember what the brand is, but it's the brand of beef that is beef. It's what's for dinner. I wanted to include that, and I completely spaced it.
It wasn't really a brand. It was just a general ad thing.
I'm pretty sure it was for a specific, I'm pretty sure it was for a specific
Anyway.
bit of beef. But I mean,
we'll get into the rest of it when we get to the round table. There's still a couple awesome.
So I had to go and look up the character because I had no clue who you guys were talking about. It's the Jeff Foxworthy guy. Okay.
The bard, as he was trying to impede Rutherford from going to rescue Billups, played the danger music.
I didn't catch that, actually.
Let's see. Dramatic danger stinger from TOS. That's it.
And in case anybody has, we can actually play like 2 seconds of it, but.
Let's see. There's a cutaway on the Queen's ship that had an area full of horses on the readout. Let's see. Agamus says that he could be the next 7 of 9.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a silly reference, but.
And a joke on the Reddit. This is a reference to the motion picture, which was released in 1979. The author of the Reddit thread occasionally does stupid jokes like that out.
Speaking of the Reddit thread, apparently Michael Mann himself visited the Reddit thread. I linked it in the chat earlier, with the screen cap of him being in there.
The depiction of the Daystrom Institute was practically identical to the one that we saw in Picard. Yeah. And among the many that wall of evil computers that we saw there was a CBS I logo.
Yes, I love that.
There was a Batman, a Klingon emblem, an international no symbol, an upside down Triforce, and probably other fun references in that wall of evil sentient computers that they just keep around for no reason.
Sure, nothing wrong will happen because of that at all. Just a wall of evil computers kept in storage and active. Yeah, sure, nothing will happen.
I'm just glad. I'm glad there wasn't a HAL 9000 there.
There probably was.
There shouldn't be.
There should have been an auto from Wally there. It's like Mariner says. Starfleet is good at discovering, but terrible at monitoring. So. It wouldn't surprise me if something bad happens there eventually.
It makes Megatron.
Well, hey, they apparently left Landru on that planet for them to fall back into worship back in season 1.
They probably couldn't take Landru. They probably couldn't take him out as fast as that system was.
Landru apologizes. All right, let's get into the episode. Justin, what are your thoughts on this episode?
It was certainly different. That's for sure. It was, I don't quite think we've ever had anything like it, but it did remind me a lot of the times whenever they would bring Loxana Troy on during the Next Generation, and that was kind of nice to have that again. Everybody was dreading. It's like, oh God, it's his parents. It's out, harkens back to every time, Picard or Riker wouldn't see Loxana Troy was coming, and they would have to be on their best behavior, even though they hated dealing with her. It seems like, it's not the first time they've had to deal with this.
Captain's log, personal log, my mother's on board. And that's all there is.
Yep. But yeah, I liked it. It was a good episode overall. callbacks are great. The little Easter eggs here and there. I don't know if you saw one of the Easter eggs they had with the dog from TOS. Was
They
in
what?
one of the paintings. The dog from TOS that Spock was holding that had the horn from whenever Kirk split into two halves. Yeah, the one of the paintings. The mom was holding one. I was like, oh, they put that in there. Yeah. Other than that, but yeah, I liked it. Enjoyed it.
Thank you, Justin.
Hydrate.
I freaking love this episode. Actually, like the more and more I thought about it after I had watched it, I just kind of enjoyed it. And I think one of my favorite things was, out of all the Star Trek villains that I have been exposed to thus far, and I'm only season 2 of DS9. I've watched TNG all the way through. I think my favorite villain plot has to be this one, to make her son lose his virginity. Like, that's going to be memorable forever. Out of everything. Assimilating people, destroying whole planets, taking over civilizations, making cults. Nah, it has nothing on this. Like, this was, like, just really good. And I love that, like, Boimler just, like, actually gets the drop on Mariner for once.
Yeah.
Like, I was actually shocked about that. I was like, holy crap. It's good, though. I like their dynamic. You know, I like that there's a little bit of challenge there. And they touched on a real thing that I had a problem with. Like, she doesn't, like, trust him at all. But then you kind of realize, like, she's actually protecting him from the bullshit that he's got to put up with. She's, like, keeping him out of danger. And it's almost, like, a very wholesome thing to see. And I was on the phone with Travis while I was watching this. And I was like, oh, my God. I just love how the ship's, like, docking tube actually had, like, torches. Like down the line, like actual like torches. I was like, this is great. This is like Skyrim in space, and I love it. The whole aesthetic of that ship was just glorious. Yeah, this episode really didn't have any memorable like standout story moments specifically for me, but I just loved the aesthetic. The humor in it is hilarious, and as someone who's like coming off of just watching Vikings and shit and that all that medieval period stuff, like. It just watching it merge with Star Trek, it's surprising how good it actually works. We need to ignite the Dragonfire engine. We don't call it that. Don't call it that. It's just like it's so good. Like I feel like it's
the Elven
really
mix. The Elven blood.
I'm a sucker for like when they clash two different genres, and I feel like this just like touched all the good parts of my nerdum brain. Like, this was great.
Magic and Star Trek, it just kind of works when you put the terminologies together. It's like dragons rep, matter, antimatter. I mean, you know, it just works.
I liked it, though. Like, I'm not going to say it was the best episode I've seen this season, but I definitely have fun with it.
All right. Thank you, Raina. Travis.
I'm in the same boat there. It was a great, like, I enjoyed myself with this one. It's not, it wasn't as, like, solid as episodes 5 and 6 this season. I had a much, like, better time with those two for other reasons. But, I mean, like, this one, like, when I first saw it, I was kind of like, I mean, it wasn't, like, it's still, like, it was stronger than, like, earlier this season. But I mean, like, it took multiple watches for me to realize, okay, I'm starting to actually appreciate more what this episode's doing. And a lot of that is because this is a bit of a character episode, in particular for Boimler and Mariner. Like, I know that we're all, like, geeking out about Jeffrey Combs coming back and everything like that. But, like, in terms of Mariner and Boimler here, like, their friendship in this show is becoming one of the better friendships of the franchise, if you ask me. And when you consider where they started in season 1, episode 1, where, you know, Boimler is just like this by the book person who is intent on reporting her to the captain because she just breaks all protocol and everything, and seeing them grow and seeing him like actually learn from her in this episode and seeing it pay off in this episode. Like, I thought it was like really, like, that is some subtle growth. Like, this season has actually done a lot of like subtle growth like this, and I absolutely love it. I I didn't get a chance to say this last week, but one of the one very small moment that I loved about last week's episode is after Attendee has that accident with the slug and she's rescued, Mariner actually leans over and she calls her Divana. And if we remember from episode 3, Mariner didn't realize that Divana was her name. And so hearing her call her that was just like, that's development that is not just forgotten about. That, oh, I didn't know that was your first name gag is not just a gag, it carries over here and it's awesome. And like seeing like Mariner and Boimler go at it here, from Mariner just like losing her patience with him constantly talking about the Titan. Like I actually kind of relate to her there. I'm not gonna lie. Like, look, it was cool that Boimler was on the Titan, but I think it's come up like every single episode now, and it is starting to get just a little bit grating. Like, oh, on my time on the Titan, it's like, yes, we get it, show he was on the Titan. Let's focus here now. Like, just shut up. And so having Mariner call him out like, will you shut up about the Titan, is like, you're speaking from the heart there, Mariner. Like, I totally hear you. And seeing like Boimler, like you would think that Boimler is actually like trusting this computer and going as far as to fire the phaser at her and stun her and straight up dupe the Combs computer and like get Mariner by surprise, and seeing them like just like have a little pal out moment at the very end there over it all. Like, it's like, God, these two are growing so fast in so many awesome ways, and I absolutely love it. Like, I have said this before, when it comes to Star Trek, characters are the first thing that I look for in terms of my enjoyment of the show. I know that a lot of people watch Star Trek for like the ships and like the adventures and everything, but I need to have a connection to the characters if I'm going to be immersed in the universe. And this show has just done some incredible things with its characters in more ways than one. And so like, even if this episode's story isn't as solid as like last week's or the week before that, or like a lot of the story beats aren't as like memorable and everything, like just seeing the character moments here and seeing them just continue to push forward, which was something I was actually kind of afraid they weren't going to do after the like retcons that were happening early this season. It's really, really satisfying to see.
All right. Thank you, Travis. Raina, we can't hear you.
No, I was gonna say I love that supercomputer where it's like, I will blind you. That's just so good. Like just having control of the dim switch.
Travis, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Getting that, it is a little irritating to hear Boimler continuously reference his time on the Titan, but he had a lot of growth there, and the fact that we finally get to see that his time on that ship wasn't wasted. Yes, it seemed like it was over his head, but he clearly learned an awful lot while he was there, and that while he is still something of a softie, he's not the pushover that he used to be. He's still very rigid into the rules, but he is able to outsmart an evil computer, which is an accomplishment that Mariner didn't think of. He did something she didn't think of, and he didn't need her help like he did on what was it, the second episode where they went to that in the first season? Yeah,
Envoys, when she's doing the plant tricks and everything, and finding out that the girl that's hitting on him is a Manavage, and
and I gotta say, I was really surprised that Billups took the center stage of the A plot. They said the showrunner said that the support cast, the the bridge crew are going to have a few episodes for themselves. But I honestly didn't really think much of Billups at first. He seems fairly uninteresting in the first season. An engineer whose entire life was in engineering. Literally, we almost never saw him out of engineering, and when we did, he never really said anything.
And
So
even then, he was always in background, or just kind of, never really coming forward unless someone was directly talking to him.
He was meek. He was soft spoken. The only time he even had that hint of sinisterness in his voice was when Rutherford asked to be transferred out, and then he became supportive after that bit of bait and switch. But to find out that he's a freaking prince, that he gave up the responsibility of the throne so that he could serve in Starfleet as an engineer, the fact that he's apparently asexual and has no interest in sex, both because of the responsibility that would come with it, but also that it apparently just doesn't interest him at all. When he has his pick of the stud and the gorgeous woman, he's no reaction.
Come on, you're a king. You got this.
It's an interesting. They gave so much character development to him in such a incredibly short period of time, and I gotta applaud him for that.
I hope they continue to do this with the other characters because it would be nice if everybody got the same chance to kind of grow. I know we don't have that many episodes, but I mean, just a little bit of attention goes very far, as we just seen.
Yeah, I mean, I know in the previews for the season, we had at least a clip of Mariner crawling through the Jeffries tubes with her father, so we have that to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind knowing more about the actual story behind Dr. T'Ana. I know you are too, Travis.
Oh yeah, I want more T'Ana and Shax, so
I wouldn't mind learning a bit more about Shax too, and
I mean, I want to see more of their romance.
Well, okay.
Oh God,
that is a wholesome romance. Don't go. Oh God, that is some awesome romance.
We're
totally not a furry.
But I'd also like to know a bit more about the XO. I mean, what his career's been like, what his background is. Oh, there she is. But I really like what they're doing. They're not just sitting back and doing more of the same like a lot of the other series have done in the past. They're pushing things forward, and I'm very happy to see it.
On a completely random note, I gotta say that one of the jokes of this episode that actually really did stick out with me is when they get the fruit and they're like quenching their thirst and like, oh God, it tastes like black licorice too. Are you kidding me? Just like the fact that I think Ross froze. Oh, no. He's here.
I'm still here.
Just the fact that they pushed that black licorice, joke as long as they did. It was surprisingly a really good gag. I think it only came up three times. But
people seem to continuously mock Seth MacFarlane for doing shit like that.
Like what?
Pushing jokes entire episodes or entire seasons.
Well, I mean,
the black licorice joke wasn't. Yeah, it was they only did it 4 times in the episode, and it worked. Yeah, 3 times. The first replicator attempt, the second replicator attempt, and then the black licorice.
Unlike Seth MacFarlane, this one was actually timed and well placed.
I mean,
everything on the planet tasted like black licorice.
He's literally done stuff like this before with the Peter Griffin fighting the chicken thing.
Well, that's different.
Well, that's
not different. It's literally the same gag brought up again, and brought up at certain points.
Right
when it's organic and natural.
When you spaced out over seasons, that's a different ballpark. There's and I would also argue that a lot of his gags are very formulaic. When, for example, if someone hits their knee and all of a sudden they're just sitting there for 30 seconds and hissing and everything like that, it does get grating.
Yeah, that's absurdist comedy. Kind of like Lower Decks.
Anyway, Son, what are your thoughts on the episode based on what we said so far?
So whoever posted that comment in the Reddit thing about this being a reference to the motion picture, they weren't lying. Because Billups is pretty much the opposite. It was pretty much kind of like this weird opposite, but the same version of being a Deltan.
Yeah.
Like he's just like a royal Deltan, and he has to lose his virginity to take the throne. Like, okay. And most Deltans have to take a vow of chastity to enter Starfleet because their promiscuity is not something that they feel the Federation is used to.
Not so well. Promiscuity, yes, but also the Deltans are tactile telepaths. That every just the faintest touch is reactive and is pleasant, and in order to keep people, I guess, to keep people who aren't on that same level from misunderstanding or Delta. That's such a strange concept that
it's
wasn't
almost
very
like
well thought out.
It's almost like it's a concept that should actually be expounded upon at some point because it could be interesting.
Yeah. Right now, it just sounds like they're too hypersexual, but that's not the case at all.
I mean, like what better place for you guys to talk about something that sounds completely absurd than Lower Decks, right? Where's the Deltan?
Keep one big difference. Well, no, finish your thought.
Yeah, we really haven't seen Delton since the motion picture. Son's got a point. You would think a show like Lower Decks, you would see more of them.
Some things are better left forgotten about, including a lot of things in the motion picture.
I mean, I don't think anybody has truly forgotten that this giant fucking thing came and almost destroyed the Federation.
They forgot about it by the second movie.
And then it happened again 2 movies later.
And they also forgot about that. It's like they magically forgot about the Cindy attack on Earth and Enterprise until it.
They didn't forget. They repopulated the whales.
Anyway, continuity and whatnot aside.
In any case, this episode, yeah, like y'all mentioned before, this is definitely a background character B plot, but just because it's the B plot doesn't mean it's not a focus. So yeah, I don't watch this show enough to be interested in wanting background characters or whatever the hell's going on. But look, I'm just mad that everybody seems to hate licorice.
I love black licorice.
Licorice is awesome.
That would have been I would build a house on that planet.
Nice.
Especially when you mix it with Jaeger.
Yeah, but the Jaeger tastes like licorice already.
Exactly. So it's a win-win.
All right. Any final thoughts on this episode?
I still want to see Centurion Ops.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I do want Cetacean Ops, and I hope we see Badgie again. But I mean, like, what was I going to say? I guess I'm just going to say that, again, it's awesome that we got a fucking evil laugh for someone losing their virginity. My guards are trained from birth to skip foreplay.
That line. That line.
And yet it's the Deltans that should be forgotten about. Okay.
All right. Thank you guys so much. This was a great episode. I'm looking forward to the next one. All right, let's move on into our second review of the week. What if Thor was an only child?
Oh, dude.
Apparently, he's a frat boy and nearly parties the earth to death. Travis, are you ready?
This week on Hold My Beer, bruh.
Oh,
What would
my.
happen if Thor were an only child? You get a cross between the prince from Beauty and the Beast and Andrew WK without any of the charm of Andrew WK. Jane Foster detects an incoming alien invasion headed right for Vegas, and it's Thor. And he's like, "It's time to party, America." There's no ads in this recap, by the way, Justin, so don't flash that. That's a
Thank you.
one-time gag. That's a one-time gag.
Thank you.
What do you mean, thank you? I worked hard on that recap, damn it.
And I loved it. But thank you for telling me so I don't have to flash it.
Jane Foster detects an incoming alien invasion headed right for Vegas, and it's Thor, and he's like, "It's time to party, America." And he starts an epidemic of party culture that Earth kind of just goes along with. Really, like, where are the cops? They'll get on my ass if I light up a mortar shell, but this guy starts making a slingshot out of the St. Louis Arch, and they're like, "Oh, that's fine. Fuck the police."
Oh.
Anyway, Jane sees all these aliens partying it up and is like, "You know what? I'm gonna go talk to the handsome man." And he's like, "Hey, girl, I like blew up a place." And she's like, "Wow, that's really horrible." And Thor's like, "Wanna come to my place?" And she's like, "Sure, I think I love you." And Thor is like, "You barely know me." And Jane's like, "We're in a Disney Plus show. Romance blossoms spontaneously." And they're like, "Oh, okay." They party it up, and her friend marries Howard the Duck. Gross. By the way, Disney.
Sean would probably approve.
By the way, Disney, stop pushing Howard the Duck because fuck Howard the Duck. Fuck him.
Once you go duck, you can't go duck.
Said every furry ever.
They literally were fucking Howard the Duck, so you can't say anything.
They fucked the duck.
Stop it.
They married a duck.
There, you did it.
Yes, yes.
She parties with Thor, and Shield comes over and is like, what the fuck are you doing? We need to, like, kill Thor because he's, like, a really big threat." And Jane's like, "He's barely been here a day." And they're like, the acting director's like, "Lol, I don't care. Call Marvel." Captain Marvel comes to Earth and is like, "This party's ending right now. This party's over." And Nick Fury's like, "Bitch, that's my line." And she's like, "Shut up. You're unconscious right now." And Thor's like, "You're a party pooper. Why don't you go smile more and party poop somewhere else?" And she's like, "Haha, I haven't heard that one before," and smacks him across the planet. He smacks her back. Party fouls Stonehenge because he's a dick. Frost Giant Loki laughs and breaks Thor's phone, and Shield is like, "Marvel didn't win. Guess we're gonna have to use bigger guns." And Jane's like, "I have a better idea. I'll call his mom." She visits his mom, and she's like, "What? He's partying on Earth? He's supposed to be doing his homework. He's grounded." Marvel and Thor fight more in the snow, and Shield is about to nuke him with like 10 warheads. What? Then the mother appears and is like, "I'm coming home early. I will check your homework." And Shield's like, "Oh, I wanted to nuke the planet." And Marvel's like, "Who the hell hired you if you want to use nukes like that?" And Thor's like, "Guys, we got to clean up the Earth." And everyone's like, "Well, nope." And Thor gets scary and angry, and everyone gets scared. And they're like, "Oh, we'll clean up the Earth. Okay." And they clean up the Earth just in time for the arrival of his mother, who is like, "Oh, I'm very proud of you, Thor. You are doing your homework. Too bad they forgot to clean the hammer. Whatever you do, don't use a black light on that thing." Thor goes to Jane, apologizes, and Thor goes to Jane, apologizes, and invites her on a date, and it's charming. And then the episode decides that the ending is too sappy and throws Vision with all the Infinity Stones at you because why the fuck not? Who cares if it doesn't make any sense? Only the Prime Timeline's allowed to have a happy ending here because fuck your universe. You can't be in a happy ending on this show. Not even Star-Lord, who can have a happy ending with T'Challa, can have the happy ending there. No, fuck you, Thor and Jane. You get no deal. Thanos, Vision, because apparently you pissed off Tony Stark for partying too late. Is that the canon reason for this? I don't know. Might as well be. Whatever the case, fuck Howard the Duck and fuck this episode for its horrible use of the Guardians of the Galaxy. This ending sucks.
Okay.
Wow.
That went a little off the rails. Well done, Travis.
Well, it was a duck fuck, so, hey.
Oh, stop it with the duck fucks.
Ugh, duck.
I hate
Duck
Howard
goose.
the Duck. I hate
Look,
it.
you're the one that brought it up, so you
Yeah.
only have yourself to blame, Travis.
Yes, you do. It's a ducking nightmare.
Hello, Alex Diaz. Welcome to the show where we talk about this.
Duck fucks. We're
All
Sean.
right.
You guys have your minds in the gutter. I know what I was saying.
Raina, let's start with you. What'd you think of the episode?
I hated this episode so damn much.
Tell us why.
Okay,
Tell
so
us more.
As someone who actually likes Thor as a character, I hate when they do this dumbass, make him drunk, fat, stupid, like he's a character of Animal House. They've done this multiple times, and it's starting to kind of piss me off now. Like,
In game.
I honestly believe, like, okay, first of all, the biggest reason I hate this episode is timeline-wise, it doesn't even make fucking sense. They don't even follow their own rules in this episode because, for one, Loki had no impact on his growth of being a better person. If anyone remembers, like, that wouldn't have changed anything. Like, I think actually he would have been better off because he wouldn't have had that outside influence from Loki. Because as we actually learned in fucking Loki, how much he was messing with them and almost making them children-like with the way they acted. The other thing that pissed me off is, first of all, I think it's completely dumb how they handled Jane. It's just like they made her like really like a dumbass, like, oh, I'm charmed by him, so I'm gonna sleep with him. And like, I like how that wasn't even like on the table in the first Thor movie. Like, and just here it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna fuck his brains out. Like, it's like they didn't even give you context to that buildup. And then the worst part was that ending because it doesn't make sense. Because Ultron's whole purpose, his whole creation was Tony's fear, and it wouldn't even have been in that part of the timeline. And me and Greg, and I think Justin had this discussion. The only way that would have worked is if he came from another timeline, but that would invalidate the use of the stones because the stones only work in their designated timeline. As we learned in Loki, they have no relevance outside of the timeline they came from. They don't work. They don't operate. They don't function.
Not true.
They don't function like
because
that.
If that were the case, then Endgame wouldn't have worked.
Endgame only worked because the stones that were used were from that designated timeline already. What I'm saying is how they did it in here is Ultron wouldn't have been created even because there would have been no Avengers team up without Thor. That he was part of that whole thing that brought them together. Like the whole build up to it doesn't even make sense when you coherently write the map out of what should have been. I just, this episode feels like I want to write Animal House, but with Marvel. And Animal House is fucking hilarious. This episode was dumb. And it was just, let's see how bombastic and ridiculous we can make it. And it's sad when, Ross, you know how I feel about Captain Marvel. It's a sad day when I feel like, oh my God, thank God Captain Marvel was in this episode, or this would have literally not been watchable. Like, I was actually rooting for her, like, smack this dumbass around. Seriously, like, and there was so many moments where he got the drop on her. I'm like, he's a big drunk idiot. How in the hell, Like, did you get your ass kicked? And they even asked that, like, you're the strongest one in this, like, you're supposed to be the strongest one. Like, how did this happen?
She was holding back.
Yeah.
And I was just like, the only thing that I appreciated was him setting the hammer on her, and it was like how he did with Loki in the first Thor movie. Like, I thought that was pretty funny. Like, you're gonna have to sit here and take a timeout. But this episode, I'm actually gonna say, like, I enjoyed the Marvel Zombies one more.
Really?
I can't believe I'm saying that, but because I felt like you had at least the action bits where it felt like, okay, they make sense in the context. The humor doesn't make sense, but the action feels like everything in this episode did not feel like it fit at all. Like, the action bits didn't feel like it fit. The ending didn't feel like it fit. Like, the way the characters acted with one another, it was just, I just hated it. I hated the writing. I hated the humor. I hated everything about it. Like, oh my God, Greg's not even here and I'm taking his role. Like, I cannot believe just how bad this episode was. This was my least favorite What If thus far.
Okay. Thank you, Raina. Travis.
This one's a mixed bag for me. I don't think that I don't really hate this episode because, like, as far as I'm concerned, like, this show was allowed to have its dumb fun here and there. And, you know, in some ways, I kind of got a chuckle out of some of this. I do actually agree with Ray in the fact that Marvel was actually probably one of the better parts of this episode, which is saying something because I don't really care for characters like Superman, Captain Marvel, and people who just seemingly have endless amounts of power with little to no limit. But I mean, like, seeing her, like, and Thor duke it out like this was actually, like, honestly kind of fun. That said, I do give Thor a bit of a middle finger for you know, fouling up Stonehenge because he was a dick. Like, that was literally the only reason he did that. He was just being a dick. But I mean,
And the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
But I mean, in other ways, it's like God, this episode is such a mixed bag for me. Like, I don't have, like, things that just, like, really stuck out in terms of, like, oh, this episode just does not work, period. And maybe that's just my casual side talking, but, like, it wasn't until the very, very, very end where I just was like, this, like, even as a casual fan, I just didn't get why they had the ending as they did. Like, I guess it was Ultron, but I thought it was Vision at one point. Like, I thought it was straight up Vision, so that's why I read it that way in my recap. So, foul on my end. But regardless of whether it's Vision or Ultron, like, I just didn't really understand why they felt the need to throw him in there holding all the Infinity Stones, because I was just sitting here thinking, like, where did this come from? Like, there was established reason for Vision and Ultron's existence in the MCU, and there's no established reason here. It just felt like the episode needed some, like, big, shocking ending for why this universe doesn't work. After the episode had a honestly kind of charming ending between Jane and Thor. Like, I actually kind of dug, you know, Thor going back and giving that little apology and asking her on a date and having that little, like, oh, that's a nice, charming way to end this episode. Oh, look, there's Ultron with the Infinity Stones. Guess that's a unhappy ending for everybody because fuck you. Like, you're not the sacred timeline. Fuck, get fucked. Like, that's what that felt like. It felt like the episode was just giving a giant middle finger to us all, and like, unfortunately, it just kind of rubs the wrong way, which is weird because, like, in terms of Thor as a character, I didn't mind seeing him as a bit of a doofus in this episode. I love Fat Thor from Endgame, and I get that having him as a doofus repeatedly can be a bit of a grating experience, but like, it didn't piss me off here. It didn't piss me off, and the one thing that really pissed me off, aside from the ending, was how they handled the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy in this episode. Like, the humor that they tried to incorporate with Drax was just not funny. Like, seeing him like, you are the one who's being the party pooper or something, like, that's not funny. Like, Drax has some golden lines in the movies. That is not a funny Drax
Because
line.
of what is the actor?
And I cannot stand what they did with Rocket Raccoon in this. Like,
Well, the Drax thing only
It's
works
just-
because of the actor. I think that's because the way the actor delivers the lines and he uses his body language. Just whoever they got to voice act this Drax, it just didn't feel right.
It just wasn't a good line.
The only rocket we got was him passed out in the sink.
And I didn't like it.
It was very The Hangover.
You know what else you don't like? Apparently, you don't like ducks.
I don't like Howard the Duck. Don't bring it up and take that.
That is
thing
cursed. That is cursed.
You know we're in the Howard the Duck series. Probably.
That's what happens when weasels mate with Farfetch'd.
Oh.
We're getting the Howard the Duck series. You guys can watch it. I'm not watching it. Like, I will not watch it. I will be the son on that show. I will be the son on that series. Like, I will not watch it.
No, because even I gave Lower Decks a chance. I gave it 3 to 4 episodes before I stopped watching it.
Because once you go duck, you run into luck.
Duck in my life. I've got enough in my life right now.
All right, thank you, Travis. Justin, how about you?
Well, I think I'm agreeing with everybody else. I enjoyed the episode up until the end, where we all got blue balled out of left field with, Ultron or whatever the hell that was that showed up at the last minute. The episode was great. I mean, Party Thor, he's always been a bit of a party guy. They may have done it just a bit with, all the characters that they brung in. It made it kind of weird, I guess, a little bit. To see how everybody was interacting with each other. We had the Collector there. He was partying. And then we had the guy from Thor Ragnarok. He was there partying. It was just like, okay, so if things didn't happen in the other universe what he did, everybody would just be partying all the time. Okay. Yeah, it was just weird the way it all kind of judged, but I enjoyed it. Even with Howard the Duck coming in, that was kind of unreferenced. I'm sure Sean got a kick out of it wherever he's at.
Ross, you got like 4 hydrates to redeem. I'm just saying.
And I got fine. I'll do it again.
Oh no. Okay, that's my review. It was a good episode. So, he's out of water now.
I'm just gonna say that, Travis, this is the week that really you should have included what you did for Marvel Zombies, and then Thor started partying, and this made Raina angry.
I get.
Like, it's all about the timing of the joke. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't.
I hated the ending. Hated the ending. That ending was awful.
You know what's sad is I believe the Thanos zombie more than I fucking believe Ultron just showing up some bitches party over.
Don't.
Oh, by the way, I got the vision. I got the Vision body too. By the way, just for extra measure. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, Marvel, stop with your fan fiction. We get it. You want all these characters to get drunk and party together. Like, It's just nobody felt like themselves. Like I'm seriously getting TNG final season vibes where it's like characters don't feel like themselves. Like I still have that disconnect with Riker. Like he goes from all right, let's talk this out and do it diplomacy to tell me what you know, you alien piece of shit. Or I'm gonna put my boot right through your face. Like that's how it felt. Like it was just completely dramatically different than what we actually knew. And this was like even worse. It was like, really, Nebula? Oh, Rocket's asleep in the sink. Oh, that's a thing. We're not gonna talk about that. Okay, I got it. I understand. This is just the way things are now. That Marvel's out to make me angry.
One of the things that did kind of annoy me in this episode is that the characters that they included in all the party scenes, like it didn't really feel like they belonged there. Like seeing Yaphet and Drax and Rocket and like all these other characters, like the only one who really felt like he belonged there was Frost Giant Loki. And that was because like there is established history between him and Thor. Like, why is Yaphet like no, not Yaphet, not that. Why is Rocket Raccoon there? Why is Drax there? Why is I can't think of other people off the top of my head who were there, but it just felt like casual, like, oh, they're here too because why not? And it just didn't really. It felt like fan service with no payoff. That's what it felt like.
I will say that the only thing I appreciated is Thor had the reaction that every one of us did at some point in your life if you threw a party while your parents were gone. Oh man, my mom's coming and she's gonna be so bad.
Like I do
that would be like.
And also,
as someone who did that her senior year and got in so much fucking trouble, like I totally resonated with that.
Been there, done that.
I gotta say, Ray, don't ever say that you hate an ending more than Zombie Thanos.
Zombie Thanos was awesome.
I approve of that.
It was
All right.
more believable.
Justin, I believe you had more to say.
Yes. I forgot what it was because you asked. But
All right, I'm going to lead in by saying I think you guys took this episode a little too seriously.
I think you just don't know what a good episode is. How about that?
Oh, this was a fun episode for me. Just seeing, frat boy Thor was interesting. A curious change from the character as he was. The interactions with Jane was adorable. Her interaction with him, that kind of, it was interesting to see the change in dynamic where she wasn't as interested in him at first. But shorter episode, they need to hurry things along. I get it. The fight between him and Captain Marvel was awesome. Just that uppercut. Yeah. Ooh, one continent to another. Another uppercut, one continent to another. It was very cartoony. It was very silly. It was very fun. And that's how I saw this episode. As a bit of silly fun that imagined Thor in a different way. Yeah, it was kind of nonsensical and it didn't really fit in some places, but it's what if. It's not always going to make complete sense.
I get that it's not always going to make complete sense. And I mean, like, I'm with you in, like, it's a fun episode. Like, I enjoyed it for the most part, but it is possible for something like a bad ending to just leave a really, really bad impression overall. And that was kind of the case here for me.
I didn't see the ending as bad necessarily. From the previews, we saw that we get this kind of Ultron. We're getting an Ultron episode where something changed and something's different. And I'm seeing this as a prelude or as a teaser to that. It sucks that we get that kind of kind of ending at the end, especially after that sweet little send-off with Jane. But I'm willing to see where it goes from there because it's
I'm
fairly
sorry.
clear at this point that the reaction of the watcher to this was different to the others. There was it's like he knew what was going to happen with all the others. This was a surprise to him. I guess it all worked out happily ever after. I guess I spoke too soon. There was surprise there. He didn't know that was coming, and I think that's going to play into what happens next.
Can I
My
ask?
Raina first.
Sorry, Ray.
I just want to say that I think overall, to explain why I dislike this episode, you can have too much of a good thing. Like, I like all these characters, and I feel like I had little bits of fun. I'm not going to say it was like a complete like shitstorm as I'm making it out to be, but I will say like it does become obnoxious when you have too many references. It does become obnoxious when you have too many characters that are just hogging for the sake of they're going to be here 5 seconds. Well, that's 5 seconds of a 30-minute show that just and not to mention, like, I feel like my biggest rule with any TV show, even if it's What If, play by your own fucking rules. And when you start kind of getting janky with the timeline and saying like, oh, well, this happened, but we're not going to give any fucking context of it. And it's like, even the Thor bits didn't make sense if you've watched Thor 1. Loki had no impact on his fucking growth as a character. None. Zero. In that first movie, there was none. The second one, I would argue a little bit. And Ragnarok, there was a big change. There was a big lean on for that. But I feel like if you watch the first Thor movie, I feel like they kind of looked too deep into it and said that was what defined him. No, it wasn't.
But it would affect him.
It would have affected him, but I think the dramatic turn that they took where it was like he was pure frat boy, like his whole thing is he was overzealous to be king. Like that was his big thing. Like when he attacked the frost giants, that wasn't an act of being a frat boy.
He wasn't overzealous, he was arrogant.
Exactly. He was, I think, what were the words used? Callous, greedy, and arrogant is what Odin used. And I feel like this doesn't make like sense. Like, and not to mention, I hate when they did this, like with the Marvel movies, is that they did the same joke twice. And I feel like, okay, we fucking are having dumbass Thor again. Okay, I get it. You know, all right. It's funny for a laugh. But even like prime example, the T'Challa episode where he was Star-Lord, that defied every Guardians trope through the whole thing. Like everything you saw in Guardians, it defied those expectations. And that the references they used felt tasteful, and it wasn't like just consistently just like, oh, here's this and this and this and this and this and this. And it almost becomes a distraction. But that's all I gotta say. Like I feel like it could have been good. Like I probably would have enjoyed it more, but I was getting more irritated that they were doing more fan fiction-y type stuff than like sticking to what they were trying to do. Because by itself, it's a good idea for a story, but everything how they put it together just felt really sloppy.
Okay. Son, or Travis, you had something you were going to say first.
I just had one question. What the hell is with the Watcher? I do not get why. Like, what is this character? Why should I give a rat's ass about him? Like, somebody fill me in, please, because
right now he's just the narrator.
I know he's just the narrator, but I mean, like, is there like established canon with the Watcher in previous?
Oh yes. Yeah. Oh yes.
The Watcher's a very big deal.
He sits back. He sits back and watches for a lot of it, but he does occasionally get in and interfere, usually to bad results.
Something tells me that I'm not going to care either way. Like,
that's the point of the Watcher, though. He's a neutral party. He's not, whether it's the villains or the good guys, he doesn't get involved. If he gets involved, it's usually something that's going to cause like a cataclysm type event that is not supposed to happen. And like Ross said, 99% of the time when he intervenes, he actually makes it worse.
So I can give you guys an analogy about what the Watcher is. The Watcher is those scientists who watch the primitive people in TNG.
Exactly.
Everything
Exactly.
goes tits up when they get involved.
You mean Homeward? That's the TNG episode you're thinking of.
I
Homeward.
think so. There were a few like that because, like, there was there was an entire movie about that started off that way too.
Insurrection.
Oh my God, this episode
movie's
was an episode of
fucking terrible.
Family Guy. That's why I disliked it. What if was Family Guy this week?
It might as well be. Like,
Why did you mention Family Guy?
because it's a terrible show. That's why. And this episode is not the best. I mean,
It was like we was watching an episode of Orville.
no, I wouldn't go that far. Like,
Hey,
look, I'll talk about Orville when we get to the Orville. Like,
All right, son. Do you
In a
have any
year.
thoughts?
So I can fix. So there's two problems with this episode just from hearing you guys, and I can fix the majority of this episode by doing one thing: changing the scenario question for the what if.
Oh yeah, what would you change it to?
What if
Whack.
Thor was actually Thor?
I mean,
Traditional
Thor-
Thor, if he is not fighting, he is feasting to the point of being a frat boy. Thor's traditional powers also include just like this almost succubus-like charm over women. Almost everything that you've been describing in this thing is like, what if Thor was actually traditional Thor?
What if Thor was able to cut loose without being a protector? That's Thor.
You know what I would have liked to see in this episode? Is if the roles between him and Loki were reversed.
Ooh.
Where like if they like Loki was chosen to be king instead of Thor, how Thor like could have been a villain almost in that regard, like how they would have played that. I would have been really interested to see that.
I mean, there's so
Like,
many
if-
what ifs that
Like if Thor got screwed over out of everything like Loki did, and then have like Loki the child that got everything. Like I kind of want to see how that would have played out.
Loki will probably and Thor will probably still be the party god. You just wouldn't give a shit about anything else.
All right. Well, I think that'll about wrap it up. Another miss, it sounds like. It'll be interesting to see what comes next for What If.
Let's see what's next week's episode.
like this one is
It's
a
the
5
Ultron
out of
one.
10 for me off the top of my head. So I've seen better. I've seen far worse.
I would say it's slightly above average.
It was good. It wasn't bad.
It was good.
I feel like
hope next week's better, but I mean, the show. I mean, it's an all right show overall. They could be doing some stuff. I mean, it's a placeholder show. I mean, obviously. I mean, we're just sitting here just watching it to have something to do till Mandalorian comes back.
my final thought on that is I feel like though this may change how I feel about it, because I feel like there's a lot of episodes I'm going back to that I gave grief, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what, there was redeemable qualities there, and there was episodes I liked, like the Killmonger one, where looking back I'm like, I really wasn't a fan of that. Like I like fangirled over it last week, but then I kind of like sat with it a week. I was like, I actually kind of didn't like it. I feel like my stances are changing as the more and more I like process it. So chances are I'll probably go back and watch this.
Welcome to being part of the Trek fandom.
All right. Well, let's move on to our next topic. And that is that this week, today, in fact, we finally got the news that the Orville finally has a release date. And we got a bit
Only been 3 years.
Easy, Justin. Easy. Yes, it's been 3 years since the show's second season. After the Disney acquisition that put things into uncertainty, COVID that paused all production, we finally have a release date, and that is
March next year.
2022.
2022. We got a new look at the bridge that has been slightly updated, I
I
believe.
haven't seen the bridge yet.
The video, you know, they used the Orville game simulator for that shot because it just didn't look like the actual bridge, but that shake and everything is exactly what you get in Orville simulator. So it was pretty cool. They got together with them to use that.
And the third season will be known as The Orville New Horizons. So we left off with season 2 in a bit of a unknown situation. Wow, I'm completely blanking on details of
The not datas.
we had Kelly go back in time or go get pushed ahead of time to meet everybody in the future, goes back and decides to cut it off with Seth's character,
Mercer.
And
with Mercer, only for that to have a bit of a butterfly effect, which led to the androids completely taking over everything. And, well, naturally, things went to hell and back. They managed to succeed in going back again at all Terminator and wipe her memories before she can break it off. And now we don't know. We don't know if that was successful or not. We know she agreed to meet with Mercer, but we don't know whether she actually remembers anything or not. So is it going to be the same? Is it going to be different? How different are things going to be? I don't know. We don't know. Let's hear from you guys. Justin, you're our biggest Orville fanboy. Let's hear from you.
I think you pissed him off. You broke him.
I wasn't exactly say fanboy. That would be more Greg's category. You know,
You are
no
the
case
current. You are the biggest one who is here.
yet. Okay, that one.
That's
Well,
not true at all.
Who is?
I'm the only one that consistently says I like the Orville.
There you go.
Okay. Then go for it.
I honestly didn't see this news until like an hour before the show. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. I think Seth had some Enron type knowledge when it came to the Disney acquisition. Hence his move from Fox straight to Hulu just before the acquisition finalizes. So yeah, that seems like a thing that was because he was already doing stuff with Disney before this acquisition happened. So it seems like somebody just elbowed him and said, "Hey, you can do all this stuff. Go, move to Hulu." You know, because that way we don't have to put the Disney thing on anything. You just be on Hulu and you can continue doing the stuff, and we don't have to put the Disney thing, and we don't have to shuffle you with our money. You can do it with Fox money. But considering how the second season ended, I mean, it seemed only natural we'd get a reboot. Like this whole reboot would be the third season anyway. I'm not looking forward to, how do I put this? I'm probably not going to watch this season.
Oh, really?
Not because I don't want to, but simply because I don't have a Hulu subscription and I'm not going to pay for one.
I'm not paying for another subscription either. So
I enjoyed Orville for what it was because it was freely available to me. That's one of the biggest reasons I enjoyed the Orville. And now the Orville is behind just another fucking paywall to me. It seems like I can't have anything these days without having to shell out like monthly fees. And I guess I lament the fact that there used to be network television. Like, even at this point, YouTube is strangling the creators so bad that they're desperate for people to go to Patreon or use the membership buttons for stuff, that sometimes half of their videos are, hey, please go to my Patreon or go to, hit the membership button.
Or half of them get taken up by their sponsored ads that they do for like Dollar Shave Club or our personal favorite, whatever mobile game.
And, I'm interested in season 3, but I'm probably not going to watch it.
I agree with you.
I would love to see whatever the hell reboot they think they're going to accomplish. Honest speculation, there really shouldn't be all that much difference. Like you might see galactic changes, but you might see galactic changes in like power structures and all that kind of stuff. But complete interior redesigns of ships. That's not really something Mercer would have an impact on, would it?
Who knows?
But yeah, I agree with you there, son, because it's, I want to see it too, but that's another subscription. It's to subscribe to the service just to watch one show. I can't really justify it either. It's like, I have Netflix, I have HBO Max, I have Disney Plus, but I watch more than one show, and I share two of those services with people. But it's it's justifiable. I got to have more than one show to watch. Like, if I didn't have more than one show to watch on Paramount Plus, I wouldn't have it. If I didn't have more than one thing to watch on Netflix, same thing. I like hell with Amazon Prime. I don't watch nothing on there except for the Expanse when it comes out, but I still have it because I order stuff off Amazon. So I just don't really see a reason to get Hulu, because Orville will be really the only thing I care about, and I don't want to pay for another service.
If you have a Amazon Prime account, you can give a free sub via to your favorite Twitch streamers. So Justin, me,
yes,
any of us here on Twitch.
Unless you're using the free trial, which, interestingly enough, I buy stuff from Amazon so rarely that every time I do, I can activate a new free trial of Amazon Prime.
Nice.
With the same credit information.
I actually have my Twitch Prime through Amazon Prime, so it kind of works out.
Well, that's what they're like. Outside of getting the free sub, that's like pretty much the only reason to keep Prime.
I also got Battlefield 5 through Twitch Prime.
I wanted to go see what the Prime Video stuff was, right? Mm-hmm. And everything that I wanted to watch on Amazon Prime Video wasn't. It was an extra fee on top of having the Prime sub. It's like, then what the fuck is the Prime sub for?
Their original stuff, whatever they have a license for.
Because, like, some of that, some things you can only get through Amazon Prime Video, and you're still having to pay a fee on top of their Prime sub.
It's Amazon exclusive stuff only, and not anything from other places like HBO and Showtime and all that stuff, which is everybody has their own fucking streaming service now. So it's like,
let's get this back on the Orville.
Yeah, like.
But yeah, no. Go ahead, Travis.
When it comes to the I'm curious to see where this season will go, and I will watch it because, well, I have Hulu for free through Spotify because I took advantage of an old deal. Like, when it comes to the Orville, again, I need to emphasize, I don't hate this show. I will watch it. I like it. I mean, which is saying a lot because I do not like Seth MacFarlane. I think that his humor is not very good. And so, there's a reason why I will say that his more serious episodes of The Orville, his more character driven episodes like Lasting Impressions, have a much bigger impact on me. When it comes to the show as a whole, I think Raina actually said it best at one point. When we were talking, I don't remember exactly what the conversation entailed in full, but she did say at one point that, while she enjoyed the Orville from start to finish her first time through, when you watch it a second time, it starts to lose that charm quickly. And today, I was actually reviewing, I was writing up an analysis for my underrated countdown, and I was covering Voyager's episode Blink of an Eye. And I was reminded.
That's a fun one.
I was reminded of an episode that the Orville did that borrows concepts from Blink of an Eye. Mad Ideolatry, if I remember correctly, is the name of the episode. And I was admittedly, it's been a while since I've seen this particular Orville episode, but I mean, the fact that it has been it had been a while since I'd seen Blink of an Eye as well, but I remembered more from Blink of an Eye than I have this one episode of the Orville. And that is the biggest problem with the Orville with me, is the fact that it will take concepts from Star Trek and it will introduce its own flavor and its own takes on the concepts, and sometimes it'll do a brilliant job. But more often than not, it's more of a passé feeling. It's more like, oh, that was okay, and I will never think of it again. And that was the thing with this episode of the Orville, this Mad Ideolatry. I barely remember anything about it aside from the fact that it covers a planet that, every now and then will, if I remember correctly, it's it vanishes and comes back, and every time it comes back, generations have passed, and if one of the reasons I am curious so much about this upcoming season is I want to see just what they will do differently. I keep hearing that they will be there's major changes coming in this show, and I really want them to take these changes to heart and really start to put their own impact into the show that will resonate with me more. I don't want this show to fail. I am not out here just, fanboying over Star Trek and saying oh, the Orville sucks. It's a wannabe show. I'm not one of those people. I don't care for Seth MacFarlane as a person. I don't care for a lot of his writing, and I do not care for his lead character at all. But this show is something when it gets stuff right, it gets stuff right. There's a reason why I constantly praise Lasting Impressions. That is a beautiful episode. I want more episodes like that. I want more episodes that have that heart, that good storytelling, that good impact that stays with me. And this show just lacks so much of that more often than not. And no, it's not even that it just rips from TNG. This
show, like, there's a lot of promise here for it to be something unique and its own thing, and more than just the Star Trek love letter. But the fact that, like, it doesn't take advantage of that, at least it hasn't these last couple seasons, is just kind of unfortunate. Like, one of the biggest things that I hope that they completely move away from this upcoming season is I am fucking sick of Mercer moaning about his love life going down the toilet. So if this like alternate timeline, whatever you want to call it, like if this retcons that, if we never have to hear Mercer complaining about the fact that his wife cheated on him, like, thank the fucking Lord is all I'm gonna say there. But I've rambled long enough here. Somebody else take the floor.
Anybody else? I lost.
Tell us how you really feel.
Back off the mic. Damn.
Yes.
I haven't gone yet.
Okay, go ahead, Raina.
I'm gonna watch it because I've watched it this far, and I got to deal with Disney Plus that I get Hulu for free as long as I maintain my subscription. So I'll watch it, but I'm with Travis. Like with this, like I really enjoyed it the first time around. Like I was fangirling over the Orville, and then my mom was really curious about watching it, so we binged it together, and I really didn't like it the second go around. Like, I really didn't like. I've noticed with Seth MacFarlane a big problem that he has with his humor is when he hits it out, like when he gets something golden and he gets it right, it works and it's fantastic and it's fun and it's enjoyable. But when he falls, he like lands on his face and breaks teeth across the pavement. Like it's I don't know what it is, but there's so often than not, like he'll have like a thought-provoking episode like I really liked About a Girl. I thought that was like, in terms of a cultural episode, I felt like, okay, that's something interesting. But then he kind of goes back to the same shit when he's nervous about touching a certain subject and he doesn't go all in. And as someone who makes pretty provocative humor as it is, like you should go in with the risk knowing that you could fail, because more often than not, like the times that the episodes are good, I feel like, why didn't he fucking touch deeper on that? Like I felt like you could have left room for that. That was the most interesting part of this episode. And I'm with Travis. I swear to fucking Christ, if there is one more divorce joke, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind, because it wears so thin. Like that's his character fucking trait. That's his one character trait. Mm-hmm. Is he messes up things and he complains about his ex-wife, and it gets like it. And I hate to say it, but those jokes feel very Seth MacFarlane. Like the ones that work, you could tell he didn't write those jokes. And I feel that a lot with the show, because the ones that write him, like I feel like, oh my God, it feels like American Dad, Family Guy, and this are all kind of crossing over into one collective, because I feel like they share so many just bad fucking jokes. And I think after binging TNG, there was a lot of moments where they took things safe, and I feel like the Orville plays it very safe a lot. I want them to take risks. Like if this is a reboot, don't be afraid to make new lore that's controversial. Don't be afraid to touch on the things that people might frown upon. Give them something to think about, because I could tell that he really loves like sci-fi. I could tell he loves Trek. I could tell he loved the Old West. I still think that A Million Ways to Die in the West is a fantastic film, and anyone who hasn't seen it should watch it. It's one of Seth MacFarlane's best things that he's ever made. And that was something that was a love letter to Westerns. And I feel like he touched on the things. He took a very real look at what the West did, and it sucks. But he also made it in an enjoyable manner. But he was not afraid to say, like, you people who like the Westerns, you're fucking dumb. Do you know, like, everything wants to kill you? I feel like he could do that with the Orville, but I feel more often than not, he's very cautious. And I don't know if you guys get this feeling, but it feels like he second guesses himself. Like he'll make a decision that kind of impacts the crew, and it sticks a few episodes, but then he quickly reverts it, like within an episode or two. Like he has a lot of things that would make interesting dynamics. I'm gonna watch season 3, but I'm not gonna say I'm optimistic. Because I feel like he takes it safe, and if he goes all in and like really does some cool stuff, like I'd be totally in for it. I know Seth MacFarlane. He's not. I feel like, and especially with 3 years, I feel like that's gonna dip it a little bit. So anytime there's a break, I'm cautious.
If that's the case, then you're going to hate season 3. Because now the Orville is under the control of Disney, and Disney does not like a lot of shit.
Yep.
Except it's on Hulu, which
That
means
doesn't
they
ma-
have more freedom to do things that wouldn't be acceptable under the Disney banner. That was
Sure,
the whole point of Buena Vista back in the day,
and Touchstone,
and Touchstone.
but at the same time, you're also talking about a Disney who has kind of thrown those companies away, and and made new companies that do basically the same thing, and even still, they're exerting Disney-like control over those companies, where you can't do certain things that Touchstone Pictures used to do.
I've heard Seth MacFarlane actually make comments about when he would get in trouble with Family Guy, and he was saying that I won't dip from my humor, I won't dip from the quality that I put out there because that's what people want. And I feel like whether it's Disney or Fox or anyone else, like I feel like if it was going to be heavily edited, I will give Seth MacFarlane that. I think he would have walked away from it because he had a perfect opportunity to walk away from this, and he didn't. So obviously, to me, that's a good sign. I don't like, even with Deadpool, like I think Ryan Reynolds was saying, like Disney is not going to interfere in the way people are thinking. They know where the money is. They know what's going to make money. When they want Deadpool in a crossover film, yeah, they'll have to tone it back. But when it's his own film, like Disney was like, that's the thing that's on the table. That's always going to be fucking rated R. And I think with Orville, like if you knocked it down, like I really don't believe Seth MacFarlane would take that deal. As much as I call him a coward on a lot of things, I really don't think that that's something that there's been so many times that Family Guy has had to remove jokes. There's been so many times, and he's relented in a lot of those things. But I think that if it were to the point that he wouldn't accept it, like I think he even said at one point, like during the Fox merger, that if someone ever got on his case at Disney about Family Guy's like its content, he would just completely like walk away from the project because he doesn't want his creative liberty stepped on. And I just don't feel like he's the kind of guy that would shy away from it.
All right, we've talked a lot about this. We're starting to get in circles. Let's move on. We got a couple more good topics to talk about. So thank you guys for all of the input on the Orville, Hulu, Disney, and everything else. So
Sorry, Greg.
we've got two stories. One is kind of related from Fox, but also some Netflix news. The first stuff we'll lead in with the Fox story. Fox is developing a TV series, a new animated series based on the Rats of Nim. Some of you might be familiar with that property as The Secrets of Nim, the Don Bluth-produced animated film from the early 90s. One of my favorites, a real creepy one from back in the day. I really loved
so
it.
good.
And I'm interested to see where we go from here. So let's hear, Son, let's lead with you.
Okay, so you furries are going to string me up and just hang me. I've never seen The Secret of Nim.
It's worth looking. It's worth watching.
It is. It really is.
I mean, I know Don Bluth. I know Don Bluth has some amazing films. I've watched a bunch of them. I've never seen The Secret of Nim.
You've never seen it?
It's one worth devoting your time to. It's
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's wonderful.
All I've got to say to that, Son, is...
All right, Justin, how about you?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I've seen it very early on, so I'm excited for them to develop it. I just hope they don't screw it up and they, keep it true to its form any way they can. So I'm excited to see how this goes.
Raina?
I love this whole thing. Like, it's such a classic, and I don't really have much to say about it because other than I'm very excited about it. But I will say, you want to talk about pissing off furries? I'm a furry, and I've never seen the Robin Hood flick, and I got so much flack for that when I joined the fandom. So take that as you will.
Travis?
Well, it's been a while since I've seen The Secret of Nim. I'm not super I don't know if there's like a huge bit of lore in this world. I mean, I remember reading the novel it was based on back in the day, in very long time. But I mean, I'll be curious about it. Like, I'll be curious to see what they come up with in terms of this show. I just have one question. Will they bring Eric Idle in to play the crazy mouse that he played in The Secret of Nim 2?
Oh, no.
Why would
You'll
you?
be
Why?
happy. Oh, so happy if
Why?
you just say yes.
Why? No,
Hey, Ross.
stop it. Stop it.
Ross, you got to learn the rule of Netflix when it comes to animated things. You can do anything you want with Netflix as long as you don't do another Death Note. And what they did with that. As long as they don't do that,
No,
I'm okay with it.
the rule of thumb, don't ever talk about Death Note on Netflix.
Boy.
Oh, that's so horrible.
A lot of cringe tonight. A lot of frustration.
horrible.
Even
and
worse
anger.
than that was that Dragon Ball movie.
Oh God! Why?
There's a reason why I am not reacting to any of this. I'm just not a big fan of anime. So you guys cringing over your bad live action.
So here's my
anime.
question in all of this. Then why do you guys think, or not you guys here? Why does the audience at large? Because some of our viewers have made this thing. Why does the audience at large then think the Netflix adaptation of Cowboy Bebop is going to be any good?
I haven't seen the first adaptation of that. So.
You know what? As someone who loves Cowboy Bebop, like that, when I heard that, I was like, "Oh no, it's happening again! Netflix is trying to weeb again." How do you do, fellow kids? We like anime too.
No. It's almost
As with any and all adaptations, I am cautiously optimistic. I'm not going to get my hopes up, but at the same time, I do hope
Netflix.
that it's good.
God
And
bless your
Netflix-
innocent soul, Ross. God bless you.
It's called optimism.
I mean, we got burned on
Sane.
He-Man.
What's that?
We got burned on He-Man.
No, we didn't. He-Man was good.
Oh, He-Man was excellent.
The first He-Man, the one Kevin Smith He-Man, yes. The other He-Man, not so much.
Anyway. All right, next up. Netflix has acquired Roald Dahl's Story Company.
Oh dear.
This includes Matilda, James and the Giant Peach, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh
Correct me if
dear.
I've missed any.
Oh,
So be prepared
no.
for the Carmen Sandiego crossover. Where on earth is James and the Giant Peach?
You know what? This makes me really upset because James and the Giant Peach, I fucking love that movie, and god damn it, Netflix.
That's a Disney movie.
I fucking love James and the Giant Peach, and I'm like, if you fuck this up, I'm coming to your house, Netflix, and we're gonna have a talk. And I'm gonna go full on Marvel What If Zombies level of anger at your doorstep.
What does that look like?
Well, I'm pretty excited for this. Cautiously optimistic.
Oh, bless your beard.
Netflix has done fairly well with the properties that it has acquired, and they now have the rights for TV, film, and games. And considering that they are trying to
Science Theater 3000.
They are branching out into gaming, so there's that. So I'm hoping for some interesting adaptations to these beloved stories.
So it's not just a TV show. It'll also be a companion game. Where on earth is James and the Giant Peach?
Fish head. Any other thoughts?
You know what? I can
No.
I can be very, very, very cautious about Nim, but this is one of those things where it's like, all right, put it on yellow alert, put the shields up. Like, I'm just saying, like, come on, Netflix, don't roll the dice with me now. I'm actually starting to like you again. Please don't.
Since I don't have anything for Netflix, we'll just
Shut up. Alert.
It's a Friday, guys.
You guys.
So, there is one possible good thing about this acquisition.
Yes.
We could get an entire television, like TV series thing of Willy Wonka in Oompa Loompa Land.
Oh God.
You know what? What would be really insane is if they somehow find some crazy ass Marvel way to cross these three properties.
No,
over.
no. And they will have Howard the Duck and Charlie the Chocolate Factory.
No, you don't understand. Like, if James gets the peach to Wonka's factory, they could make a peach candy, and then it just kind of snowballs. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you know what,
Matilda's
Netflix,
the new factory foreman.
Yeah, if you mess this up, at least do it in a fun way where it's like we're going like, okay, this is a little bit insane, but not bad.
Okay, so before we move on, I have to make a point here because it's been mentioned. It was mentioned in the articles about the acquisition that Tariq Nasheed, I think is the guy, is working with Netflix to make a musical version of Matilda.
No.
Okay.
Oh, and that's Kraus.
and I have to. Okay, so first off, if that's the person that I think I'm thinking of, I have to question the sanity of trying to make a musical with a guy who will most likely change the ethnicity of the characters.
Okay.
And because if I remember correctly, Tariq Nasheed is black, and I've not seen Tariq Nasheed do anything with non-black people as a majority thing, right? And I don't think it's going to be a good thing to change the family of Matilda to be a black family when you have like the shit that went on in that book and the shit that goes on in the Danny DeVito movie. Because you're going to have a black woman obsessed with her hair and gambling. You're going to have you're going to have a father who is a con artist, and you're going to have a family who is so disinterested in their own daughter that they actually fucking abandon her as a like newborn from the hospital. That's not playing into any of the black stereotypes at all.
We'll see what happens. So, of notable works, I said James and the Giant Peach, Charlie and Chocolate Factory, Matilda, The Witches.
The what?
The what?
Yeah, that was a horrible movie. I pissed her off. Yeah, I pissed Ross off with that one.
This is one of the most influential movies of my childhood. Scared the ever-loving crap out of me.
Yeah.
Googling The Witches.
And the book was so much better.
Oh, it was so much darker. Witches are real. They steal children, and they want to eliminate all children on the earth, to the point where they formed a cabal that is the shell of a child's charity, and they figured out how to turn children into mice, so that they
This
can
is
turn
why
children
I
into
think-
mice and then
Wait.
step on them.
This movie was just remade recently,
Yes,
wasn't
it
it?
was.
Yes.
I remember
it
there
was.
being a preview for it.
This is why I think horror is the stupidest genre on the face of the planet.
What?
Really?
Really?
Okay, the witches,
Horror guy.
the Fantastic Mr. Fox, the BFG, the Twits, George's Marvelous Medicine, and Tales of the Unexpected. He also has writing credits on several notable movies. One from my childhood that I know that you guys probably never saw, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Hey,
Yeah.
I actually.
I've seen that one. Come on now, Roz.
Redeemed yourselves, okay. But he
I love
actually
Chitty
had
Chitty
a
Bang
story and screenplay credit on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Tales of the Unexpected, the BFG, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or the Willy Wonka film.
I
So
fucking
he's,
love the BFG. I had to read that in school. I love it.
Although
Yeah.
I can't see that title without thinking of Doom.
BFG. Big fucking gun.
9,000. I do have to say, of the Dick Van Dyke films, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is the best,
Yeah,
and the best part about that movie has is the fucking child catcher.
Yes, somewhere.
Oh
I
boy.
can smell them. I think we have them.
The child catcher is the one Halloween costume I actually want to own, like a full cosplay kind of Halloween costume.
Can we just take a minute to appreciate that Travis sounded just like Palpatine for a moment?
Yeah, like, you know, good God,
does
Travis.
He does that pretty regularly if you're paying attention.
All right, we got two more topics left, so let's get into them. Son, what's new on the ACTA list?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, because this news happened before it was Wednesday.
Hell yeah.
So, the SEC has subpoenaed Mr. Robert Kotick as part of their investor charges against the company for failure to disclose to the investors the extent of all legal proceedings and other disclosures that needed to be provided to the investing board for over 2 years.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna just quickly have a little fun here with this, because the fact that he just got subpoenaed, all we need is a little fade to black, some white text on the bottom, and the sound effect.
Dun dun.
Hell yeah.
Law and
know-
Order.
There it is.
Blizzard, why do you got to be such a piece of shit? Can I just say that?
It's
You
God
guys
damn it.
suck.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
It's not.
At the same time this week, we got almost as soon as this news dropped, we got another leak, that the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, had been investigating Activision Blizzard since last year,
Whoa.
and they're still investigating.
Ooh.
This would make the fourth potential federal lawsuit. The DFEH, the SEC's investigation, the EEOC, and the Labor Board, the Federal Labor Board.
Randy, you got a fan in the comments.
So this is
Oh, thank you, Fritch.
Activision isn't just burning down. The government is actively working to plow them under as well. Like, at this point, Activision Blizzard is Chernobyl. And the federal government is working to bury them.
Well, as Chernobyl's there's a wonderful quote in terms of the Chernobyl that I feel is relevant to the Blizzard thing. For every lie that we tell, we owe a debt to the truth. Sooner or later, that debt is paid.
For those of you who may not know, Upper Echelon is a gaming commentator on YouTube. He did a video this week covering the SEC filing, but he also did a little bit more digging and found that Mr. Robert Kotick has skyrocketed in his title in the ranking for the title of most overpaid CEO. In 2019, Mr. Kotick was 45th in the top 100 most overpaid U.S. CEOs. In 2020, he was 19. In 2021, he went from 19 to 16th. And these are all filings based on income data from the previous year. So this is 2018, 2019, 2020. As well as all this is going on, we've mentioned before that at every shareholder meeting and every investor meeting, or whether or not they're going to pay Mr. Kotick his bonuses and whatnot for the fiscal year, his approval rating has been going down, even though the stock for the company continues to go up. It's been fascinating because this Activision Blizzard is a company who has continued to make money hand over fist continually since he took over. Like as if it was magic. Year after year after year, Activision Blizzard was making more money than the previous year. Every year since Kotick took over. So the fact that the board and the investors are not happy with his work, even though he is making the money, should say a lot about how he operates as a CEO. And even in this, the last meeting, the last proper meeting for him for whether or not he was going to get his bonus was canceled for 6 months. It was delayed for 6 months because if they had voted at the time that they were supposed to, he wouldn't have gotten it. The investors had been lobbied not only by employees of the company, but customers of the company, to the point that they were going to vote against him getting the bonus. They pushed the vote 6 months out and blew a lot of steam out of the sales of the stuff because of another PR debacle that they had at the time. And I can't remember which one it was at the time. The 6 months comes around. I'm pretty sure some schmoozing had gone on with whoever was voting, because even then, at the end of 6 months, it was a 46% disapproval. 46% of the board voted against him getting his bonus. And that's after 6 months. That really should put in perspective how much people are just going, no, we can't deal with this shit anymore. And now that there are 4 federal investigations, to the point that there could be 4 there's already 1 federal lawsuit. There can be 3 further federal lawsuits at this point against the company.
Yeah, I love it.
2 of those federal lawsuits, 3 of those federal lawsuits over how the company treats its employees. The fourth one probably being the most important, the one that will actually get the most the most shit to happen at Activision Blizzard, because it is about the investors. Yeah, no, Activision Blizzard at this point is fucking Chernobyl, and the government is working to bury it as quickly as possible.
All right. Thank you, son.
I can only give one piece of advice to Activision Blizzard. Stop being a piece of shit. Seriously.
It's a bit late for that now.
Take your punishment, go to your corner, and get your shit together, because I miss when you guys actually did things right. I don't know what is with gaming companies that I love, like turning to the dark side. Freaking BioWare, Rare, and now Blizzard and Activision. Like, guys, get your shit together. Come on.
That's the thing. Apparently, Blizzard was never what we thought it was, and that's what this is showing. The fact that so many of the founders of Blizzard were just terrible people, but they were good at making video games, and they made some really, really good ones. And
see, that's the thing that we talked about when Carlos was last here. A lot of this stems from the fact that nobody would know who these people are.
You know what? You just made a really good point, Ross. Like, that could be why this is systemically, like, swept under the rug as much as it is. We only take notice of these companies that... Do you notice that, like, when they have a controversial thing, if they've had a bad track record of games in that time frame, they're more likely to be put under the microscope anyways. But because Blizzard they knock it out of the park 90% of the time, it kind of just goes to show, if you make good games, you can get away with murder. And
well, yes and no, because that kind of scrutiny has changed. People are more aware of what goes on in the gaming industry as far as crunch and how people, and just in general, in business in general, people are becoming more aware of how employees at these companies are being treated, instead of just brushing it under the rug. Oh, they make good product, I'm not going to worry about anything else. People care about how these companies treat their employees. And
I'm glad that it's taking notice now. I feel really bad that it's taken this long to get noticed, because, like, it's easy to get blindsided when it seems like a company's doing all right, but, you know, money and dollar signs don't exactly equal treating people with respect.
Yeah.
And Bobby Kotick, long before I knew about the sexual allegations and everything, like, in that company, just everything through the rug, I just thought it was a piece of shit with that bonus he took. As soon as I heard that from Young Yam, I'm like, that is disgusting, the amount of money he makes for doing very little, actually, compared to the ones that put him on that pedestal in the first place.
And remember, not only was it bad at the optics of him taking the bonuses, the absurd amount of bonus, he tried to PR the deal by cutting his personal pay, like his salary.
Mm-hmm.
His salary is nothing compared to that fucking bonus.
And let's not forget that how many people he laid off to get that bonus.
Yep. How many people they regularly lay off. And it's a Silicon Valley thing. These companies turn over almost their entire staff every 4 years or so. Google, for example, only hires people on for a 2-year contract at a time.
Don't mistake this. Don't mistake this for being just a Silicon Valley thing. Disney does the same fucking thing. Disney. I think it was the crew that made Frozen were fired the moment that Frozen was ready to be put in the can and shipped to theaters. And when Frozen started making a whole bunch of money, Disney said that they were going to share the bonuses with their animators. Well, not the people they just fucking fired, but only the animators currently working at Disney.
Oh boy. Anyway, that's final topic. But let's end this show tonight on a really positive note. At least I hope it is. I'm I admit I'm a bit of a Nintendo fanboy. They've typically got a better track record. But we just got a Nintendo Direct this week. And among other things, we'll lead off with the biggest announcement, of course, that well, we'll see how you guys feel about this. I'm actually optimistic about it, but I'm optimistic about everything. We're getting another Super Mario Brothers movie. And oh my god, the look on everyone's faces, geez. This is gonna be as positive as I thought, huh?
I haven't seen the first one.
Oh my god, dude, the next time you and I hang out, we're watching that.
Yeah, we got to do a watch party. So let me get to that.
After what we got with Sonic, I mean, you know, if they do it in that regard, I'm okay. Even if they do it something like they did with the original movie, I'm sorry. The original movie gets a lot of unwarranted hate.
I like the cast. I like the casting choices. I'm going to be honest. Like, I was looking at it, it's like, dude, as soon as I saw Charlie Day, like, that guy is my dude. I love seeing him in everything. Like, I think my favorite thing that he was in was Horrible Bosses. I love that movie to death. And he's just a friggin' gem, an underrated gem at that. And I mean, come on, it's Chris Pratt. Like,
yeah, we got
guy.
Chris Pratt as Mario. We got Charlie Day as Luigi. We got Anna Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach. We got Jack Black as Bowser, guys. We got Jack freaking Black as Bowser. We got Seth Rogen showing up as Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's going to be in the movie too.
And don't forget, we've got to look at what Bowser could look like. I mean, we saw him in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
Like, if they used a similar art style to that, I wouldn't be mad about that.
We got Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. And no Entertainment Weekly. Stop it. We got Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong.
Cranky Kong's in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Man. The Kong crew's getting back together.
We got Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek. Sebastian I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
This is already better than Mario Brothers.
Maniscalco as Spike.
Oh, shit.
We've got the original Mario voice actor being various cameos throughout the movie.
Huh, that's great.
I wonder if they're doing a game tie-in thing.
Oh, that's because he's actually been other various characters throughout the series as well.
Yes, but no, most notably, he was Mario.
Of course.
You know what?
I'm Mario.
I'm kind of excited because if this does well, they might start tackling other Nintendo properties after all these years.
I mean, I'll be honest. This has been a lot faster of a turnover than whatever the hell Netflix is supposed to be doing with The Legend of Zelda.
Oh my god! You know what? I'm just gonna say this now. Nintendo's
very
never
silent
gonna do
movie.
Nintendo's never gonna do it, but I so want a Metroid movie so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Why can't we have that?
So I don't think you were here for this. I
want a Mega Man movie.
This was ages ago. I think George was still with us when I talked about this.
Yeah.
There is a fan group that actually went through the process of making a fucking storyboard for a Metroid movie. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
They walk through it.
Yeah, because the one that's part of it is one of my favorite YouTubers. Some call me Johnny. He was part of that group that was working on it, and I freaking. You know what? Did you guys see on the deleted like Nintendo property stuff? Like they were going to do a Star Fox movie that was in the style of the Fantastic Adventures of Mr. Fox. Like it was going to have that art style. I saw it on Did You Know Gaming, and like it was like a thing that they had scrapped, and they had like the concept art, and it looked really fucking cool. And I guess that's what they ended up using that footage for the commercials for Star Fox Zero. And I was like, oh my god, I would have really been down for that. Like, we need animated Star Fox would actually be good.
Yes.
Like if you take like the CGI, and not to mention, Sony, where's my Sly Cooper movie you teased like years ago? I'm never gonna get over that.
Yeah, I won't either.
They're there. There's
As a
there.
furry, I'm angry and appalled at your behavior, Sony. Please.
Well,
remove that.
you got a fluffy bunny in Star Wars. You'll be okay.
I know.
In addition to the Mario movie, we also got a host of new game announcements.
I just have to say before we move on, I'm sorry, Raina. Fuck Chris Pratt. If it's not Bob Hoskins, it's not Mario.
He's too old for that shit.
He's dead.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be an
like,
animated movie.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You could literally bring Bob Hoskins back from the dead, and he will still have more acting skills than Chris Pratt. I'm sorry.
I think people give Chris
Mariners
Pratt too
won.
much out because he's actually a really good actor.
In addition to the Mario movie news, we also got a bunch of new announcements, including Kirby and the Forgotten Lands.
Oh dear.
We are getting Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis Classic Virtual Consoles on the Switch for an additional subscription fee. Worth it.
Of course.
So I have to mention, I'm pretty sure none of you ever played this game, but there was an original Wii game called I think it was called Farewell to the Moon, and the Kirby and the Forgotten Lands feels so much like that game, just Kirby-fied.
In addition to the Virtual Console expansion, they're also releasing wireless N64 and Sega Genesis controllers.
Get them before the scalpers do.
The one I am most excited for, and I know Sun probably is too, Bayonetta 3.
So here's where Ross gets the shocked face. I've never played any of the Bayonetta games.
Really?
I haven't
Yeah.
either.
Neither have I.
No, I love the hell out of the concept of Bayonetta. I've just never played the games.
It's a really
Oh,
fun
Mariners
hack.
lost.
It's a really
No,
fun hack and
they won.
Oh, cool.
It's a
Didn't you
really
see me,
fun
like-
hack and slash
see me like,
action game in the same vein as it's the same developers that made Devil May Cry.
Mm-hmm.
So
Platinum
it's that kind of
Games is-
gameplay.
So here's the interesting thing. You know how so a lot like Disney, Nintendo has this thing about certain things. And I'm actually really, really, really impressed with what they've done in Bayonetta with Bayonetta 3.
Yeah.
Because they've covered a hell of a lot more of her while still keeping the sexy aesthetic.
Yeah. Bayonetta is a character who controls her sexuality. She strategically uses it to her advantage, and everything she does is this fluid grace and deadliness to her. And her magic is channeled through her hair as a medium. Her clothes, her spells, everything is woven through hair. And when she's projecting that power, a little bit of what's covering her goes away. And they've managed to keep that and keep it tasteful and keep it Nintendo friendly while still keeping it kind of provocative, which is really impressive. And Platinum Games has done a really, really good job with it. Let's see. We got Splatoon 3. Monster Hunter Rise.
Okay, I have a question here. Have you
Yes.
played the other Splatoon games, Ross?
I have not.
Okay, so then you probably wouldn't know because it's like they were talking about Splatoon 3, and I'm like, does this game have a history of having a story mode, or has it just been multiplayer the whole fucking time?
Mostly multiplayer, I
The
believe.
story mode in 2 is DLC, and it is actually really, really worth your buck. I really enjoyed it. I played through the story because, like, I don't really dig. Like, I know this is gonna sound weird, but the single player DLCs for Splatoon to me are better than the multiplayer. I found it really good. Like, they have this nice 80s aesthetic to it, so it's got like all the neon lights, the leather jackets, and all kinds of cool shit just in there. And it's got a really surprisingly like deep, like post-apocalyptic thing going on where it's like they finally confirmed like a lot of the theories, like, yeah, this is after we're gone.
Which is why 3 is so important. Because that was the tagline for 3. The mammals are back.
Yep.
Interestingly, this is actually not really a new thing, Raina. I find myself just as compelled to buy single-player story in a multiplayer game because that's what I play Call of Duty and Battlefield for, is the story mode.
Prime example, Titanfall 2 is one of the most deepest campaigns you'll ever play.
Titanfall 2 is
And-
absolutely fantastic.
Oh, that campaign deserves a fucking movie. Like, that campaign is one of the best, and honestly, a campaign that I was having like a crisis after it was over.
I'm so disappointed that Respawn is not going forward with a new Titanfall game and focusing almost everything onto
Apex.
Apex. Yeah, there's been some recent controversy around the game. Apparently, it's being troll botted a lot, and their streamers are being DDoS'd out of the game, that they can't even play it because of these attacks. And Respawn really can't do much about it because they've stripped down its development team to a skeleton crew.
Yeah.
And people are clamoring for a new Titanfall game, but they've said nope, nothing really planned. It's possible. Don't rule anything out, but we've got nothing immediately planned.
It's kind of like Ubisoft stringing along all the Beyond Good and Evil fans for fucking years.
What happened
It's
to
like
that?
Diablo Immortal.
Didn't they confirm like, hey, yeah, we're gonna do a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order because it did so well? Like, what the fuck ended up happening to that? Like,
Nothing.
it kind of it went completely dark. Like, they were so excited about it, and now it's like, man, I bet EA took it out back old Yeller style. I'm just saying.
Well,
EA
remember,
doesn't have the exclusive license to Star Wars anymore.
Well, remember, there was whatever that game Amy Hennig was working on, and it was a Star Wars game.
Project Ragtag.
And when she walked away from it, yeah, it got old Yellard real quick.
That was one they actually really like went on a long time denying about too.
All right, we got a couple more left. We got Super Smash Brothers and Animal Crossing are getting additional news in October. Let's see, Mario Party Superstars.
The Brew Owl is back in the museum in Animal Crossing.
Oh,
it's going to be the Halloween event, probably for October.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is coming to Switch.
Oh shit! Somebody give me Nintendo credit now.
And it's not. and here's the thing: it's not even the remaster. It's just an updated version of the classic.
I don't care. I want it, son. Buy it for me.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to worry about all the shit that they're going to change in the remaster. It's literally an updated version of the classic game.
Sugar Daddy Ross, hook me up.
Castlevania Advanced Collection is coming into the Switch.
Finally, Castlevania Collection. Nice.
Look, Switch is getting games.
ActRaiser Renaissance is a remastered version of the SNES game coming to Switch. Project Triangle Strategy is now called Triangle Strategy, released on March of 2022. Metroid Dread got an extended trailer.
I am so excited for horror Metroid because if you played Metroid Fusion, it just works so well for that universe.
Well, Metroid has always had a dark and foreboding mood to it. It's always been about isolation and exploration and a sinister dread feel to it.
I actually just used Metroid as an example in my creative writing course because we were talking about the genres of storytelling, and I said horror's big aspect, and I think this is what Travis doesn't get, is horror is not just scares, it is atmosphere, it is buildup. Like, to me, I am more terrified when the atmosphere feels like it's working against me. Like, I feel like that's why Dead Space is so scary, because by the time you actually get to the thing trying to kill you, the ship has already made you terrified.
The original Resident Evil.
Successful horror builds tension, not fear.
Yeah. An unsettling of not knowing what's behind every door. Metroid does it so well.
Tension is where your mind creates the monster.
Mm-hmm.
Fear is where the monster already exists.
Yoko Taro, the creator of Nier, has a card RPG, Voice of Cards, coming to Switch.
That looks, I mean, it almost looks like an RPG version of Hand of Fate.
Dying Light Stay Human Cloud version and Platinum Edition are coming to Switch. Mario Golf Super Rush gets new characters and courses.
I'm surprisingly
Deltarune,
interested.
the sequel, not sequel to Undertale, is coming to Switch.
Not only is it coming to Switch, it's also coming with Chapter 2.
Yeah.
Lord Toby has spoken to us. He has brought us more words of his wisdom.
A Final Fantasy racing game called Chocobo GP is coming to Switch.
It's Mario Kart Chocobos.
F-Zero Chocobos.
Now, I know you're excited about this one, son, because you talk to me about it all the time. Disco Elysium Final Cut is coming to the Switch in October.
I wish I owned a Switch.
I want to play that so bad. I have heard
Disco
nothing but
Elysium
good
is
things
an
about it.
amazing game.
I have
like-
not heard a single bad thing about that game at all.
Okay, and that's you know why that is? Because the little ass development team, who's a bunch of fucking trolls and what the shitlords, were told by almost every developer, you cannot make a fully voiced RPG D&D style.
And they did
And
it.
they went and did it.
That's fucking glorious.
A new expansion for Hyrule Warriors.
Oh, lay it on me. What is it based
Well,
on?
it's basically the second chapter for their expansion season thing.
Okay. I like Hyrule Warriors. I've gotten I just started playing it. I beat the first one recently. I got Age of Calamity, but I haven't finished it. I really enjoy that. Like, I thought, you know, it's weird. Dynasty Warriors type games, like when you watch them, you're like, that looks fucking boring. But when you play them, you feel like a god.
I haven't played Hyrule Warriors, but I played the hell out of Gundam Warriors.
It's so good.
I've played Dynasty Warriors, and it really bothers me that Nintendo is trying to expand their Breath of the Wild lore through Hyrule Warriors. A lot of the lead up stuff that we're seeing for Breath of the Wild 2 seems to be filtering itself through Hyrule Warriors. And I hate that because it's going to be to me it's going to feel like another Countdown situation. Countdown to 09 or Countdown like the Countdown comics for Into Darkness.
Good stories that had nothing to do with the actual. Well, Countdown did, but then it didn't. Disney Magical World 2 Enchanted Edition.
I like Disney Magical World. I played the first one, and it's actually a surprisingly soothing game.
This one I'm excited for. Shadowrun Trilogy.
No. Dude, Nintendo, you're spoiling us.
That's coming out in 2022. Rune
Nice.
Factory
That
5.
almost makes me want to buy a Nintendo Switch.
Rune Factory 5 and its farming and RPG action in 2022. And finally, Arcade Archives, Pac-Man, and Xevious are on Switch as of the Direct yesterday.
Yay.
So a
This
lot of
almost
fun
makes
stuff
me
to-
want to buy one.
A lot of fun
Almost.
stuff to look forward to for you Nintendo fans out there, and
Well, see,
my
here's
Switch is going to be getting a workout.
So here's the thing, Justin. If you want to go out and buy a Switch, you can, unlike a PlayStation 5.
Exactly.
The one thing I'm apprehensive of about Dread is I've been watching No String play the Metroid games, and I've been watching him play the Samus Returns remake for the 3DS, and it bothers me greatly how similarly they share a control scheme. The 3DS remake and Dread, and it worries me if it's going to if No String having the same issues that he's having playing the remake, if that's going to translate to the Switch.
I don't
Okay.
understand that because I've played the Samus Returns. I played the remake all the way through. I didn't have any control issues.
Same here.
I felt like it was really effective, actually, how they utilized everything. Like nothing felt like it was forced or out of place. Actually, I was surprised because like Federation Force was fucking terrible. Like the controls, man, I felt like I had a broken wrist by the end of that.
Other M.
We don't talk about that, Russ.
So actually, here's
We
the
don't
interesting
talk
thing.
about the baby.
So here's the interesting thing. Like I said, I've been watching No String play the Metroid games, and he has been increasingly more and more interested in getting an original copy of Other M, because apparently the Japanese version has like a lot of that dialogue is not mistranslated like it was for the American version.
Okay.
Apparently, like it's not obviously it's not the best Metroid game ever, but like a lot of the story doesn't feel so fucking weird in the Japanese version as it does the US version because the translation is so fucking off apparently.
Okay.
You guys need to watch a video called Every Time Samus Says the Baby counted in Other M, and I think it's like 106 times, and it takes a total of 3 minutes of YouTube video. And it's disgusting. Like how in the dialogue, it's not even that it's just bad, but every like not just one, but like every voice actor and actress is just fucking terrible. It is the worst. The only thing in that game that has a redeeming, I love Nightmare. Oh my god, just the idea of Nightmare as a boss is like Infusion when it shows up is like one of the most haunting things ever. And I think in Other M they handled it so well, but that was like the only good thing that they had going for it. Such good ideas, bad execution.
All right. Well, thank you guys for your insights and shared excitement for upcoming Nintendo games. Let's wrap things up with our final topic of the show. What are we watching? Son, let's start with you. Son?
Sorry, I had myself muted while I was looking at the thingy. So like I said, I've been going back and watching Voyager before it goes away, and I'm on favorite son right now, but I have to, God, Rise is such a really good episode of Voyager. That's the one where Neelix and Tuvok are stuck on the gravimetric lift. And like even the other aliens are like, Tuvok, stop giving Neelix shit. You may not have feelings, but you are giving him shit non-fucking stop. Quit it. And it is such a great episode because it's like Neelix feels like such a fucking pushover. Like he feels like Fargoth when you play Morrowind for the first time. He feels like that little wood elf that everybody's beating up on, and you're like, this is the episode where Neelix puts his foot down literally and stands up to Tuvok, and it's like, wow. And even after all that shit, Tuvok's like, one day, all this shit's gonna blow up in your face. It's like, and even it's like, come on, man! You literally just had a moment. Don't be an ass again. And even Neelix at that point is like, yeah, I understand now. You just have to get the last word in, don't you? No, I don't. I'm sure.
All right. Thank you, son. Raina, how about you?
I have gotten to season 2 of DS9.
Let's hear it.
And so here's what I've got to say.
Congratulations on leveling up in DS9.
So this may be a little bit of a hot take, even Travis. It's like, yeah, you might get a little burn for that, but it's like, I feel like the first 2 seasons of DS9 are better than all of TNG. Personally, I just to run through for you guys, I did a 3 and 3 of my worst and best of season 1 and season 2. Season 1, the worst for me was Babel, Q-less, the Forsake. The best was Dax, Battle Lines, In the Hands of the Prophet. All were fantastic episodes. Season 2, the worst for me was Sanctuary, Rivals, and Tribunal. And then and then the best ones for me in season 2 were Invasive Procedures, Necessary Evil, which is so far my favorite episode that I've seen so far altogether, and the Jemadar as the season finale. I sees DS9 to me, I really, 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 really enjoy that. Every episode feels dramatically different. Like where TNG, I was watching them so close together. Like it had to have been episodic because some of them, the pacing and the plots are very similar and they run together. DS9, every episode feels like a brand new adventure. I feel like I'm not getting fatigue at all. And I powered through 2 seasons in one week. I was just I couldn't stop watching. I like everyone in the cast. The only one who hasn't really grown on me, but I don't dislike him, is Dr. Bashir. But I hear he gets better. Crusher does. So, but I will say that my 2 least favorite characters became my favorite within 2 seasons. Kira and Odo were my least favorite, bottom of the barrel, and they became the most interesting characters that I just enjoy episodes that focus on them as characters.
Yeah, I think with season 3, you're definitely going to start seeing that background story start to form, especially with Dominion War. But the episodes are still each unique. Well, I mean, it's definitely a hint to that. No. But it's not necessarily mean it's going to happen in season 3. But you're going to start noticing background stories. But it gets really interesting going here on out, and I think you're going to enjoy it even more as you explore this next season. You'll like it.
I like the hints of the overlooming threat of the Dominion. I like when they do that with villain stuff where they don't show you right away. They just kind of ominously tease it, where you feel the atmosphere building towards. And I really love that ominous ending with Cisco where he's like, the Dominion are definitely coming, and I don't know what we're up against, but I want to be ready for anything.
Wait till you start the season 2 opener, season 3 opener. You'll like it.
That's good.
Anything else right now?
No, that was it. And also I got my beautiful gaming PC, so I'm going to be messing with that this week. I'll let you guys know how it works out.
Hey, you too will be able to stream. You too will be able to stream to your Twitch channel next week. Maybe if we can get you set up for it.
I got to learn OBS, so I've never used it before.
All right, thank you, Raina. Justin, what have you been watching this week?
Well, I too have started a rewatch of Deep Space Nine. I am on season 2, and I'm just about to start the Jemadar. So I am not too far behind Raina in that regard. I'm probably going to do a rewatch of Picard here soon, or Discovery. Either one. I usually try to do a rewatch of a season before the season starts. So I'm going to start on Discovery probably. So that one's coming up soon. But yeah, other than that, I've been playing EVE Online this week.
Nice.
I don't know how I got suckered into it. I hate the game, but it oddly suckers you in because it's weird and you can't do anything without Omega. Son was right, but hey, what I can do, I'm gonna do.
All right, thank you, Justin. Travis and Lane.
The Mariners won. This week on Disney Roulette,
yay,
we pulled a really good one. Really, 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 really good. Easily one of my personal favorite Disney movies.
The Aristocats.
No, fuck that movie.
Aladdin.
we pulled Zootopia.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That is easily one of my favorite Disney movies out there. It's been a while. It had been a while since I last saw it, but for context, when this movie was in theaters, I straight up went and saw it in theaters 3 times. That is like unheard of for me. I will not really do that with other movies.
Travis isn't a furry.
The fact that this movie reached me to the point where like I went back to just like experience it in the theaters more than once, like it resonated. And I mean, watching it again no gosh watching it again with everybody here, like I was in feel good mode, and I was just losing it with like how great the animation was, how great everything looked. Like the expressions that so many characters have in some of these scenes, the fact like even like the like just some of the hugs that were like the way they like some of the things. I lose it with this movie with just how good it is, like how good it looks, how good it makes you feel inside. Like it is easily like the best like pure Disney movie that Disney has put out there in quite some time, if you ask me. And I mean, like they've put out some really good things lately, from Tangled to Big Hero 6 to like a lot of the stuff that they have been putting out there has been really top notch. I mean, yeah, there's some overrated stuff and there's some not so good stuff, but I mean, like Zootopia is like in a league of its own, if you ask me. And it is holding up wonderfully. And a lot of the stuff that it covers feels very relevant to today still. I mean, like when I watched it in 2016, a lot of the stuff that was going on then was, you know, like not to get too political, but I mean, Trump was, you know, proposing his ban on Muslims and everything like that. And Justin, stop flashing the images. I'm trying to stay on track here. Like a lot of the stuff that was happening there was like, you know, Trump was proposing his like Muslim travel ban and everything like that. And like when I watched it there and seeing like Zootopia bring forth this like racial divide, it was very like, oh wow, this is very, very potent right now. And I don't think it was you know, purposefully meant to like be a political movie, but it's very much like if you take everything that has like happened in this country in the last 4 years, from the George Floyd protests to like the creation of the Black Lives Matter, it's just becoming that much more relevant as time progresses. And I really hope that it only increases in terms of like its relevance in a good way. Like I am not saying that, you know, like I hope more racism happens so that this movie just makes it hit home even more. Like I just hope that the message that this movie puts out there resonates more, because I mean, it's go fucking watch it. Like it's what can I say? It's a great movie. And I mean, you guys are all joking around in the comments and everything right now in the chat, like, oh, he's not a furry. Like, I'm not
this isn't me praising this movie as a furry movie. It's just a fucking great movie. And I feel like there aren't enough people who see that.
Interestingly, I have the same feelings about the Netflix movie Bright that nobody else seems to fucking have.
I see, and I disagree with Travis because I feel like that this movie is not underrated in the fucking slightest.
Well, I
It's
mean, like,
one of
it's not
Disney's
underrated
most
at all.
grossing. It's one of the most grossing Disney films of all time.
Did I
Yeah.
say it was underrated?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Travis. Hopefully your next Disney roulettes is as favorable.
I will say, did we get? No, I think between I don't think there was a bullet that was dodged. We actually ended up when we were pulling this week, we actually got rid of a lot of the really bad ones, like in the first few pulls. Like we got rid of Geppetto and the Hunchback 2 and all sorts of other like bad stuff that we are just not looking forward to. So like I was like when I realized that Zootopia was it, I was like, yes! Like I actually was I was a very happy camper. And so hopefully this poll, hopefully it's not an omen of like, okay, you had your really, really good movie. Here's a really, really bad movie.
I'm cursing the next Disney roulette, and I am cursing it with Smart House.
Oh my.
Smart House is not in the chamber at the moment.
Aww.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll eventually get there, but like we're not adding any more new titles into the chamber until like there's like 20 slips of paper left. Don't worry, there's plenty of bad in there. Like we got like
Oh no, I don't think Smart House is bad. I'm just cursing the hat to pull out Smart House.
Well, it can't.
I enjoy the hell out of Smart House. It's dated for being a 90s flick, but it's a great fucking movie.
Well, if you want a dated movie that I know is currently in the chamber that might get pulled sooner or later, Brink's in there. So
I don't think I've ever watched that one.
I haven't seen it either. All I know is that like the only reason it's in there is because I was adding movies into the chamber and I was just kind of going through the Disney Plus lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, most like when we add Disney movies to this, like we make sure that they are like, for the most part, like Disney at their core. Like, you know, you got the Disney animated films, you have the live action remakes, you have like the Disney Channel movies, and you have like the Disney live action movies that are like not remakes, but you know, they're Disney. You know, like the Pirates of the Caribbean and whatnot. But
Treasure Island.
Yeah, like the only other things that like we will like consider putting in here that are like not purely Disney, but like are qualifying is like, you know, you have your Pixar and you have I think we're actually debating adding Muppets in there soon. And
Muppet Treasure Island.
Muppet Treasure Island is one of my favorite movies of the Muppet repertoire. So,
And it's all because of Tim Curry.
Yep.
I mean, if we pull Muppet Treasure Island in the near future, I will talk all about how that movie impacted me as a kid, but that's for another day. But like some of the Buena Vista like live action movies, we're actually gonna consider putting in there. And I mean stuff like that. But like if we're talking like stuff that we're not putting in there, like purposely like steering away from, like we're not putting any Marvel or Star Wars in there, obviously.
Right.
We're not putting any of the Fox animation in there. We're not putting like any 20th Century Fox live action, of course, is not going in there. Like a lot of this stuff has to be
Travis, the Xenomorph Queen is a Disney princess now.
She's a queen. She's a queen.
But she's not a Disney queen because all of those seem to die.
Or, well, yes and no.
She's now the reason why they die.
The wicked stepmother never died.
Well, yeah, she's not a queen, is she?
Might as well have been.
I mean, like Bambi's mom was a queen. She died.
I mean,
Maleficent.
if you want to be specific, why isn't like Princess Leia a Disney princess at this point? Why the hell?
She is a Disney princess.
Why is Ripley not a Disney princess at this point?
She is.
Exactly.
And at Muppet Treasure Island, Tim Curry is also a Disney princess.
That's true. It's true.
Dr. Frankenfurter.
Space.
Considering Disney now owns the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Dr. Frankenfurter is a Disney princess.
How very inclusive.
Welcome to hell.
I feel
Welcome
redeemed.
to hell.
All right, thank you, Travis.
Welcome to hell.
As for me, the wife and I finished off the Divergent series with the final movie Allegiance, and yeah, they pretty explicitly spelled out the themes of the series, which I had deduced up to that point: the anti-seclusion and division of people into different groups in order to better control them in the name of peace and everything else.
Hey, Ross, does this mean since Greg's not here, have you got started on Lucifer yet?
The hell.
Hey, if I didn't ask,
when I can,
Justin,
I have little to no free time, Justin.
If I didn't ask, Greg would.
Yes, I know he would.
Yeah, but Greg's not here, man.
Exactly.
Leave it alone.
So I had a lot to say about the film and the series, and Ray had she just finished reading the book, so she had a lot to say about what was in the films that wasn't in the books, and what was in the books that was omitted in the films, and we had some interesting discussions about that, and that was a lot of fun to compare an adaptation to its source material. We've done
Divergent's a good one for that.
Yeah.
Specifically.
We had a lot of fun doing that with Harry Potter when we did our rewatch of that a long time ago.
Ooh, that's another one I got to rewatch.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me.
Otherwise, it's my usual YouTube stuff. And one thing I did want to bring up that I saw on YouTube this week. We all love our friend Triangulum Studios, David. And he released a video this week called Why Star Trek Picard Matters to Me. And he related the story of one of his best friends who had been a real rock in his life. Reminded me very much of how some of us describe George. And like George, unfortunately, he passed before Star Trek Picard came out, and he felt his loss pretty keenly. And what that show did for him was to help him face that feeling of mortality that he couldn't deal with, and it helped to open him up himself to his grief, to understand that he'd been repressing these feelings of loss, and he was able to face them and express them and overcome them. And it reminded me of how we talk about George as well, and how we've all grieved for George in our own ways. And it was really touching to hear him relate that very personal and very emotional story when he tries to keep himself a bit more private as far as creators go. So I was very appreciative of that, and I hope that the show was able to affect others as they affected him. So Triangulum, thank you for sharing that with us. I was very touched by that. Not that way. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Look, if it wasn't for the
joke
gutter,
here,
look, if it wasn't for the gutter, my mind wouldn't have a home. So,
and if you've seen our interactions on Twitter, we're both pretty deep in there.
Especially if I go in and I stir him up and get it started off, I can really get him going.
You're a real instigator, Justin. Not that
I know,
we
I
really
love
need
it.
your help.
It's fun. It's fun.
All right, that will wrap up the main show of the Real Super Geeks for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining us. Be sure to get all that engagement going, appease the spirits of the algorithmic machines. Like, share, subscribe, upvote, whatever you need to do to see the algorithm and get our and get us in front of the eyes and ears of more people so that we can geek out even more about more stuff. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys
Goals
so
are
much.
to get sponsored so we can get money and we can make Ross get a clone because Ross needs a clone so he can watch more shows.
Look,
We need to get
look,
him a robo nanny is what we
If-
need to get him.
if we're getting sponsored by anybody, I want to be sponsored by Saban because I'd actually want Saban to make Ivan Ooze as the product.
Yes. And if we get
I would
sponsored,
stuff
we're gonna
the
have
shit out of
Travis. We're gonna have Travis do the commercials.
If you're watching us on Twitch tonight, you're already in the right place. Twitch.tv/live_love_play. And
Twitch.tv, Commander Separate, and you're here. Stuff's coming here next week. As soon as I can get affiliated, I'm going to be setting up a bunch of new stuff. So stay tuned.
Son, where can people find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Sunseal. I usually play games Sundays and Tuesdays. I'm currently playing Stranded Deep on Sundays and RimWorld on Tuesdays.
That sounds deep.
I don't have near the stuff Justin has planned for affiliate, but I'm already affiliate, so I probably should set up all those redeems and things.
Raina, where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/RainaWolf. And with my new beast of a machine, I'm going to be playing some things that I haven't got to play yet. So a lot of new content coming to my channel as well.
Travis, where can people find you?
My closet's screaming at the world right now.
And as you may have noticed tonight, my internet is stable. I rolled a 6. I'm good, which means I am going to be streaming again. And I have so much to catch up on.
He can
Point
finally finish
Ross,
Phoenix Point.
You have not roboed once tonight. Not once.
Ross
No
got the evil
proving
computer
me.
from Lower Decks to help him out.
I can get back to Phoenix Point and catch up on all the DLC that's released. I can get back to XCOM
I need
again,
to play
BattleTech.
that.
I can finish building the Silent King, this thing that's been sitting here since the last time.
And now
I
Raina
tried
gets to go
streaming.
like this every time she sees you on stream.
That also means new content clips and hopefully original writing that goes with it. So good things are coming, I hope. Thank you
Thank
guys
God.
so much for thank you for watching and listening once again. And until next time, remember to live, to love, and to play every day. Son.
And remember, you are loved and appreciated by just your being you.
Justin, play us out.
Go Mariners.
The Weasel has left the building.
Are we doing Florida Man tonight?
Are we?
I
I
got a
don't know.
speech.
You
I got a
guys-
speech due in 7 hours. So
Woo! Get on the line.
Oh, go to
I'm
bed.
going to
Go
bed.
to bed.
night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Good night.
Go to bed. Take Lane to bed. Oh, and then there was 3.
Oh my god.
With a very stretched Mario. Up.
So, no, that's not a stretch to Mario. That's quite literally that's Bob Hoskins.
I know, but still stretched Mario.
That's the scene from the movie.
I
So-
always see him as Mario.
Florida woman agreed to anal and oral sex for purchase of antibiotics. As one was.
Dear Florida man.
Ooh, that ain't good.
That sounds very deep. I'll get that joke to work eventually. Damn it.
Florida man and woman arrested after an alleged fight erupts during an orgy.
What is it with orgies tonight? Seriously. What is it? Okay, that was a little bit late there, soundboard, but thank you. But that's like 2 in a row. Come on, Florida man.
I will save that because that's our Florida hero story.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good God. Oh, my God. Florida man crashes his car, steals the car of the Good Samaritan who stopped to help him.
Oh,
That sounds like it's here.
Unrelated story to the previous story. Florida man tries to trade back a vehicle he stole.
okay. Here's a story that isn't from Florida, but it should be. Clowns lurked outside schools to promote a speech academy. Horrified parents call the police.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
Singapore.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a clown costume. It was just a dude with clown makeup on.
No, there's not good mixed schools. Anybody that's seen it will tell you this. What was it? Wasn't it a few years ago that they
Speaking
had
of
people showing up in random locations in clown costumes trying?
speaking of sewer systems,
Oh no!
Florida woman finds iguana in her toilet, tries to flush it, doesn't work.
Wow! How? Why? Oh,
Okay, this one looks interesting. Florida woman arrested after exposing touching herself publicly during jail visit.
Well, that's a different kind of
well,
conjugal visit.
yeah.
From
Kidding.
Florida News Channel 8, Charlotte County. The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office arrested a woman for allegedly exposing herself in public at the county jail. A post on its blog says. The sheriff's office said Danielle Farrow, 38, was at the jail's visitation center on August 8th for a video call with an inmate, with whom she spoke in a sexual manner for about an hour.
Wow!
So,
Go to jail to visit your man. Go to jail yourself.
I can't help but feel like this is going to get someone's master in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Florida woman found tied up and naked in storm drain refuses to explain how she got there. See, Ross gets it.
Yep. Florida man who had previously been unable to find the library was now at the library and unable to find his car.
What?
Ooh, okay. Here's the article you just from WFTV 9, Fort Myers, Florida. Police stating how a woman became trapped in a storm drain, legs bound and naked. Police said a man leaving a restaurant Friday afternoon when he heard someone calling for help. He followed the sound to a storm drain. Police said they found the woman, who was not identified, sitting at the bottom of the drain with straps on her legs. Police had to call a fire department to remove the grate, covering the drain, and then lift her out, according to the newspaper. They said she is a transient who had stayed in a nearby hotel in August for a few days. While police spoke with a person she had stayed with, hotel staff did not recognize her. Police said the woman wouldn't cooperate with them. She has been taken to an area hospital for treatment.
It sounds. I mean, it's way too much of a coincidence for that to not be kink play.
Yeah.
Sounds very kinky.
So here's one. Florida man shot a guy in the foot. Now he's a music star for singing about it.
related to Taylor Swift.
Oh, this is a variation on the one that you read a minute ago. Florida woman got the shock of her life when she got up at 5 a.m. to find a spiny tail iguana hanging out in her toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn, Marion.
Nope, 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 nope. Nope, nope. We might be at about the end of the more positive ones.
Positive. These are positive stories.
Well, compared to
No,
COVID
no.
death
There's
and-
Florida. There's Florida man stories. There's positive Florida man stories. Then there's dark Florida man stories.
naked Florida man urinated on a deputy's personal vehicle and punched and kicked a separate deputy's patrol car.
Yeah, got arrested.
Let's see where
Florida man cop wasn't wearing pants when he was pulled over for a DUI.
from clickorlando.com. Ocala, California. Or Florida. No, California. Wow. A naked man was arrested in Ocala, urinated on a deputy's personal vehicle, and punched and kicked a separate deputy's patrol car, according to the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Andrew Humphreys, 18, was involved in a traffic crash near South U.S. Highway 441 around 7:45 p.m. Wednesday and wandered away from the area, deputies said. Details on the crash, including whether or not Humphreys was driving naked, was not released. A witness told Florida Highway Patrol that Humphreys walked up to a vehicle at the Marion County Sheriff's Office, South Multi-District Office, pulled the door handle of the vehicle, and urinated on it when he couldn't get inside, the report said. Approximately $700 in damage was done to the vehicle, which belongs to a deputy. He is $700 in damages for pissing on a vehicle?
It depends on where he pissed. If it was an open sunroof.
A separate deputy found Humphreys naked in the 88900 block of South Highway 441 at 7:56 p.m. Dash camera video from the encounter shows Humphreys trying to open the driver's side door. Normal people in their normal minds are not going to go and open the front door of a police car. In addition to that, you're absolutely naked, my man. Another not normal, the deputy said. Humphreys denied taking any kind of narcotics. Seconds later, he starts screaming and kicking the patrol car, a deputy said. Humphreys kicked the car and pulled the cage, causing approximately $1,000 in damage, according to the news release. It's likely the entire door of the vehicle will need to be replaced. What the hell? Was he in some kind of augmented strength? If this is doing $700 of damage and his naked foot is doing $1,000 in damage.
Bath salts.
I mean, I had to pop off my toenail because I kicked something when I was barefoot. I can't imagine what kind of damage this guy was doing to his own feet.
Florida woman, specialist in mindfulness and emotional regulation, beats living shit out of coworker. You're muted, Justin.
All been that point at one point or another now. We're just ready to strangle a coworker. It doesn't matter. We've all been there. No, you say those bullshit. We've all had times we wanted to strangle you were working with.
Nobody's perfect, I guess. Florida man scares porch pirate by yelling at him through his doorbell.
Oh my.
See, that's not really. I mean, that seems more like a rich Florida man story than anything. You had an intercom doorbell, and you screamed at the guy who was trying to steal your packages and scared him off. I mean, come on, that's some Hollywood level shit.
And scream at crackhead there in the hallway here. You know, I just set it up every time one of them tried to walk by my doorway. Do a Wilhelm.
From villagenews.com. A former worker at an assisted living facility in the Villages has been ordered to complete 8 hours of anger management after a fight with a coworker earlier this year in which all hell broke loose. Nishanti Jamari Smart, 24, of Leesburg, has admitted guilt in the case, but will be allowed to enter into a pretrial intervention contract rather than be prosecuted on a felony charge of aggravated battery, according to documents in Lake County Court. In addition, she must seek a mental health evaluation, have no contact with the woman she attacked, and pay fines to the court totaling $500. Smart was employed as a behavioral tech on May 5th when she was involved in the altercation with another woman at Ellen Spanish Springs Assisted Living Center at 930 Alvarez Avenue. Officers who arrived on the scene interviewed employees to try and determine what happened.
Okay.
The two employees said,
Now I understand why she lost her shit. My mother has horror stories of the orderlies, the assistants there at the nursing home, not doing the shit that they're supposed to do. Like even the basic shit. To the point that you literally have state regulators in the building all the fucking time because someone doesn't do what they're supposed to do. And so pills go missing because somebody didn't put a pill case back or all of this other shit. And it's like, yeah, no. Okay, now I understand why she beat the living shit out of a coworker.
Try living in one of those places, having to deal watching all that shit go down. Even as a I lived in a place like that for a while as I was recovering from it, and there's so much drama and fighting that goes on. It's bad. Even at the best ones, you still have fighting between employees. You'll have people complaining like, "Well, you never leave what this person did for you." I mean, there's it's like its own little drama fest that's all wrapped up in one. So yeah, I can very easily see how that could happen.
the article doesn't go into details about why the fight started, but it does detail the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
Florida man loses his, quote, grow house after a power theft investigation.
Oh, poor thing.
Florida man says fuck it, claims his castle.
Oh, is this the guy who said he bought a castle or something?
A Disney World fan filmed a man walking to the top of Cinderella's castle where parkgoers aren't allowed.
Oh God.
A Disney World parkgoer was filmed. This is from Yahoo News, and it's aggregated from Insider. Okay. A Disney World parkgoer was filmed walking across a restricted section of Cinderella's castle last week, and he's temporarily been barred from the theme park as a result. The 23-year-old TikToker, Princess Hannon, told Insider that she was visiting the Magic Kingdom on Thursday to create content for a Disney-themed Instagram and TikTok pages, where she noticed a man standing on the landmark's balcony. She said she began filming and posted the clip to TikTok immediately. Shannon's video, which shows a young man briefly walking across the castle balcony before heading down a set of steps, has more than 770,000 views at the time of writing. I was definitely kind of shocked, Shannon told Insider, about seeing the parkgoer at the top of the Disney World landmark. Still, she said at the time she thought he might have been allowed up there, or that he was possibly staying in the exclusive Cinderella Castle hotel suite. Does it say anything about him? Story continues. He said he'd been visiting the theme park with his friends, and they noticed up on the castle staircase and decided to climb to the balcony to take photos from a higher vantage point. Once he noticed an employee watching him, however, he thought he should return to the ground. Okay, so no publicity stunt, just...
I don't know. It would have been that lady from TikTok immediately posting a video, wanting to post a video.
Insider really padded
put
that
him up
story
to it.
out.
I think he wanted to put him up to it, probably.
Maybe.
I bet he's all connected. Disney thing. This so happened to be there the same moment somebody's walking on the top of the castle. Yeah. I don't find that thing at all.
So sticking to the Disney theme at the moment, Florida man uses Disney employee's iPad to magically skip lines.
Oh,
Yeah, so apparently a guy was leading an unauthorized tour of Hollywood studios and was using using the iPad of an employee to skip the lines for the park rides for the entire group, making reservation overrides.
Okay. Gaming the system.
I mean, that's one way to be faster than FastPass, right?
Yeah, yeah. Citrus County, Florida man arrested for DUI after swiping sheriff's office patrol car. A lot of cars being stolen this week.
oh God, that laugh. You know it's going to be good.
This is a story Travis needs to hear because all I can think of is that's Elnor. Florida man breaks into neighbor's house so he can pet their cat.
I think. Oh man, I think this is going to be my last one for the night.
Okay.
Florida woman arrested for helping her son beat up another kid.
God. I'd love to know if that kid was getting bullied, because if it was, good on you, Mom.
From the Daily Beast.
Oh.
A Palm Coast, Florida mom is facing felony charges for allegedly helping her son and a friend attack another child. According to Flagler County Sheriff's Office, Ashley Ruffin, 31, allegedly restrained the victim while two kids assaulted him. Ruffin faces a misdemeanor battery charge along with felony child abuse charges. The victim's mom contacted a sheriff's deputy on September 8th to say that two juveniles and one of the boys' mothers had attacked her son. Ruffin spent the night in jail. 2 days after her arrest, she posted a Facebook video claiming she came across a recording of the victim assaulting her son. When the school ignored her and her husband's request to do things the right way, Ruffin decided to have a conversation with the family. And it's sending me to Newsweek.
See, like I said,
according,
like I said, that seems like a story of mom is pissed at the school, gets revenge herself.
There's zero excuse for an adult, especially a parent, to be physically involved in. Okay, that's the sheriff. According to the report, the victim said that he was sitting with his friends when two kids approached him and started hitting him. At some point, Ruffin allegedly left her vehicle and grabbed the child by the hair while the two continued to beat him, according to the report. The victim told police that he believed at one point the boy's mother grabbed him and held him while they continued to hit him. Police said that other juveniles' witness confirms the victim was jumped by the suspected juveniles and that they saw the adult female, who they identified as Ruffin, grab the victim and allow her boys to continue to beat him. Ruffin is also accused of displaying a taser during the altercation. Despite deputies made contact with the parents of the juveniles, suspects, and determined that Ruffin's husband was unaware of the incident that occurred at the school's sports complex. When law enforcement told the husband that the wife might be facing criminal charges, he allegedly became irate and said that he was going to file a report about the fight. Ruffin was later arrested and spent the night in jail. The mother said that her 12-year-old son, who had been in 8th grade, was playing a game of basketball with the victim the week prior to the altercation, when the victim allegedly became agitated with Ruffin's son during the game. She said the harassment continued into the locker room and eventually turned physical in the hallway. Ruffin said both children were suspended, but she was told by the principal that it was a minimal incident. Ruffin said she later came into possession of the video that was filmed during the fight that showed that her son getting beaten. After the clip, her husband went to the school in an effort to do things the right way, but the administrators did nothing. Rather than press charges, the mother said that she wanted to have a sit-down with the family and have a conversation, but the holiday weekend made it difficult. On the day of the incident, Ruffin arrived at the sports complex to pick up her son, like usual, and said she witnessed him being approached by the victim and 10 to 15 other boys. In the video, Ruffin claims that she ran over to break up the fight. She said the video was an attempt to get her side of the story out. Okay. Interesting.
I'd say here's the thing. I don't fault that mother one bit.
Nope.
I don't.
If it were my
Because
son,
I've seen this. I've been a part of the same shit in schools, so I stand behind that mother 100% because I know shit like that goes down because I've been a part of it.
I'd probably do much the same thing if it were my son. I know my wife. That would definitely be my wife. She, boy, she wouldn't care how old the kid would be. Bully our kid, you're gonna get beat.
It's not just bully the kid; it's the kid being a bully and the school refusing to do anything about it except suspend both when it's clearly evident that one is harassing the other in a zero tolerance zone.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I have our good guy Florida story for the week, and I have to
Yeah?
say, I have to say, oh no, I can't say good guy. I have to say good boy.
Okay.
Florida story for the week. Florida man has stroke. Dog goes to alert neighbor.
Hey there, Gene. How you doing, bud? Doing good.
Good boy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So yeah, that's the good guy Florida story of the week.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that will do it then.
Yep, that looks like that's going to be a wrap for
Thank you guys for joining us for our Florida Man post show, the weird and wacky news from Florida and beyond. Have a good night, a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Keepers. Same time, same Twitch channel.
Clear on Live, Love, Play.
And September. Peace
It still
out,
says live.
everybody. Hey, Sean, hit me up on this